For years, the world has listened to thousands of podcasts. But if you dare to immerse yourself into a new experience, new ideas, viewpoints, award-worthy commentary, and a way of looking at things you didn't think were possible, strap in, it's gonna be a bumpy ride. Gaming, current events, local and global, finance, sports, religion, health, and everything else. It's all here. It's all here in the DATAPODCAST.
Three, 2, 1. All right, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to everybody listening. We're back with another podcast. We have a special guest. Well, he's not special guest anymore. He's regular guest now. On the podcast, Joan and Tano, they're back. So we want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. You know, we're going to be talking about a couple of topics today, a couple of topics that I have in mind. And what we decided together to start talking about. One of the things I wanted to start talking about was crypto, because I'm panicking, man. Like I was in school the other day, and now Robinhood has this thing where every hour, you saw it, right? Like every hour, if it drops 5%, they start notifying you. And it was like, it had already dropped 15%. And I was just like, a la torre, what the hell's going on? In one day, yeah. So, me agüité bastante. Because I think Doge was like 24 cents. And then it lowered all the way down to 17 that day. So, I was panicking. So, what do you all? So, I was saying, right, that crypto went down. This is what I think. I think that the Omicron, people are saying Omnicron. You hear that? People say Omnicron. It's not. It's Omicron. Omicron, yeah.
So there's no N after the M?
No, people are crazy. There's no N after the M. No, it's Omicron.
It's
right,
like
but
Omicron.
Yeah, Omicron.
Omicron.
You know what I think is this damn, what is it? What do they call it? A variant. This damn variant is causing a panic with people. No sé, man. I don't know what's going on. So, what are your all's thoughts?
I think that this variant would cause more panic, like in the stock market, than with crypto. I think what's going on with crypto more than anything is just like technical analysis. That the trading of it, they trade that thing a lot, and it's been up so much from the beginning of last year, right? From the beginning of last year to the end of last year, it's up by a lot, and then at the last end of last year. It still kept going up, and people had high expectations for like higher than they already are. Like if you've been holding onto crypto or trading it since the beginning of last year or before that, then you're up a lot of percentage, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But even after that, people had really high expectations for like Ethereum at the end of this year. Supposedly it was supposed to be like at 5,600, and some people had even valued it like at 12,000. It's supposed to be there right now, and some people still think that it's gonna go there like within these coming months. But I think that all the hype around that, and it's not actually going, is causing it to drop back down. And it's all about the technical analysis trading of it. So, like in stocks, if it doesn't make it to a certain point, then people are going to start turning bearish on it. So they're going to start selling it. And then if it starts breaking certain points to the downside, like if it breaks a certain point, it's going to keep on going down. And I think that's what's happening right now. Like it just keeps on breaking down, and people are just bearish on it for the time being, but it'll turn around. I mean, a lot of people it will cause it to panic, but that's the way that it is with crypto. I mean, it's very volatile.
Ups and downs.
But I would keep an eye on it. Like there's very clear indicators, and you can see like on the graph. I usually the one that I see is Ethereum, and I can see the peaks, like the bottom one. So if you look at the recent one, I'm gonna pull up the graph right now, so just so I can see like where I would take my money out in case this would happen, because I already did at a certain point.
But you pulled out when it was high or when you were losing?
I pulled out. No, I was making money when I pulled out. So let me show you what I was doing. Let's see, Ethereum. All right. So right now it's actually, wow, it went all the way down to 3,300, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And it did that right after it broke below. So you see, I'm gonna show you guys this pattern that was formed last week.
Okay.
And then for the month, you see this pattern right here?
Yeah.
Well, like it dropped, and then it formed this spike, and then it was sideways for that week. Whenever you see this one like breaking down, and then it doesn't go back up, it breaks down below that. It's called like a support level. It's just gonna drop another like substantial percentage, right? And then it did that. It formed another support right here, and for that week, it did the same thing. So this day, whenever it broke beneath that support line, it's gonna do it again. So it's gonna keep doing that until it finds a place of support. Which, if we look at the yearly one, you can see this one right here, and that's gonna be like at pretty much like at 3,000, 2,800. If it breaks below that, then I would be worried. Like it can go all the way down here to 1,700.
Okay.
So, but this peak right here, that's where it might stop and bounce back up.
Yeah.
And that's just the way that I see these things trade. I may be wrong, right? But that's the way that I see it. So whenever something like that is happening, that's how I decide. I want to pull it out right here because it might go lower.
Yeah. Okay. So to not lose money, you would pull out there.
So those are your limits right there.
Yeah. That would be like your in stocks, they call it like stop loss. That would be like your stop loss. You have to have a point like, I'm gonna stop my losses at 3,800. So that's a good point to get out. You know.
Yeah. Okay. And what about like pulling out when you have profit? When do you find like you think this is the highest? We're not ever gonna go, but you say like, come on, this is the highest it's gonna go for now, and I believe it's gonna drop down again. What do you determine in the graph?
That's a really hard thing to determine with the graph. The only thing I would say is like, if you're making a profit, if you have no idea where it's going, and you feel pretty confident about that profit, then it's okay to sell at any point because you're already at a profit, right? And you can strategize this. Like, you don't have to sell the whole thing. Sell half of it. Yeah. And then if it comes back, then you already have some profit, and then you can buy back in.
Yeah.
But the main thing is like, if you see, whenever you start, you have to have like an objective, like a goal. What do I think this is gonna go? How much do I think this is gonna make me? So, and you gotta be realistic about it, right? You can't say, oh, I'm gonna buy Ethereum right now is at 3,300, and I'm gonna sell it at 10,000. You don't know if it's ever gonna go there. But within the graph that we just saw, you can say, you know what, if it goes up 20% or whatever, then that's a realistic goal, right? And say, I'll sell it then. But for me, what happened with me, I wish I could have sold it when it was at 4,800 because that's the highest it went. Yeah. But when it was there, it was going up. So you're scared to sell it because it just keeps going up and up. So like, what if I sell it and then it goes to like,
it goes to 10,000,
5,600, right? Or to 10,000, right? So you don't know. You never know. But when it starts forming a pattern sideways, right? You're not even making or losing money. So it's either creating like a support pattern or a resistance pattern. Yeah. So if it forms a resistance pattern, you wanna wait there, because if it breaks through, it's just gonna go really, really high, right? Yeah. So, but if you notice it is forming like a downward pattern, like and a support pattern, then you wanna sell it if it breaks through that pattern. So that's what happened to me. Like, I was at a profit at 4,800. I wish I would have sold it there. Yeah. But I didn't know if it was gonna keep going up or not. So when it went down, and then it bounced, and it was going sideways, and I saw the pattern, I was like, this is why I'm gonna get out. I could have gotten out with a lot more profit, but I just had to go with I didn't. You never know what's gonna happen. Yeah. So you just have to go with the information that you have.
So you use Robinhood for crypto, ¿verdad?
Yeah.
And I have Doge in Robinhood, And in BlockFi, I have the Ethereum, and I have some Bitcoin. And the Bitcoin, they gave it to me because I think it was you who used the referral code.
Okay.
Oh, Benny, right? I don't know who it was. I gave him the referral code también.
Yeah.
And because either it was you or him who did an account with that, I got some Bitcoin. I think I got like $25 worth of Bitcoin. Yeah. So
cool.
I have it's a tiny amount, but it is there. And one of the things that I had seen and BlockFi was that they were starting to get. I wonder if I can find it. They have new crypto in there. But is it?
Oh yeah, they have a lot of different crypto that
Like
Robinhood doesn't have.
They have like Unicorn, or what is it? The unicorn is called Uniswap.
I don't know that much about.
They have.
the other ones, bro.
I don't know. These are the ones. They have Ethereum, Litecoin, Pax Gold, Litecoin. Okay, these are like the 4 basic ones. There's a chart that they have. Okay, it shows you like como their interest, what they pay out in interest. That's what I like about BlockFi, because for holding it, they pay you, what is it, compound interest. You're getting paid just for holding
That's
it.
what I was gonna say. That's what I like about BlockFi. The reason I never got into it, I know you've been telling me to get into it, and I've been wanting to, but I don't feel like I can keep up with so many platforms going back and forth. So I just keep it all there. But I wish I could have put it into BlockFi and be earning interest on the money that I had on the crypto.
Sí, aquí está. These are the ones they have. So they have it by tiers, and I think this tier stuff means like depending on how much of the coin you own. Aquí te dicen, like if you own anything from 0.10 to 0.35 Bitcoin, they're only gonna pay you out 1%, compound interest. And then if you have anything greater than 0.35 Bitcoin, they're gonna pay you this amount. Ethereum también the same thing. Litecoin, this is a Chainlink. USDC, estos USDC, GSG, USD, these kind of things. These are like como $1 gets you 1 coin. So it's like it matches exactly the dollar value.
Okay.
Pero they pay you out como quiera. I think for keeping it in that amount, they'll pay you back 8%. ¿Verdad? Well, here in this, for keeping it like $1 and not actually buying any of the actual. ¿verdad? Bueno, they are cryptocurrency como quiera. Pero pues they're not like como major players. This is actually like a $1 value. If you put $10, it's always just gonna be $10 that you have of that coin. But they'll pay you out this percentage in interest. And I had seen this one that they added aquí, BAT, and I had done research on it. Porque I'm looking at that because now like it's low. I'm like I wanna buy and like como diversify my crypto, but I wanna have like at least one of each at least, right? So they well I was between. I think it's Chainlink and this one, Basic Attention Token. And I was researching this one, Basic Attention Token, and what I found out, man, was it seems like a good idea the way this crypto works. In a sense, let me see if I can find. They have it like a triangle. You see this triangle? So this is what it is. They have this. This is how the coin looks like. It's like a triangle in the middle. So it's advertisers. But you get on this website. It's Brave. The website is called Brave. And if you start looking at advertisements through there, like YouTube, I know, like you see like an advertisement.
Yeah.
And for seeing it, the advertiser's going to pay you some amount in this token. And the creator of whatever video también is getting some money back. So it's like the advertiser gives out some of the money, and then the user gets some of the money, and the creator, ¿verdad? And it's just this one thing where like for looking at the ads, everybody's getting paid, right? So that's what I thought was pretty cool about this. Like this is an idea because now they're finding like como advertisers are having more and more trouble getting their in social media, YouTube, that kind of stuff. They're finding like trouble like getting their advertisements on there. So what they do is they buy in paying with Basic Attention Token, right? Hey, pues that's what it is. It's you see that attention. It's like they're trying to get your attention, so it's like a whole 3-way kind of thing. Everybody wins, and I was like, man, this thing like in the future, me thinking like the way that they were explaining it and how it works. This thing has potential to. Right now, it's worth like $1.19. When it went into BlockFi, it started at 50 cents. And now it's worth $1.19. And I was just like, this thing has potential to be like in my opinion, right? I was like, this thing has a lot of potential,
you like it.
in the future, right? So ta con ganas because people that have this website, Brave, they get rewards, and all they do is like sometimes they'll just be looking at advertisements and they're just getting paid in basic attention token. So ta con ganas eso. So I was like, I want to buy this one, pero pues this isn't financial advice, but I can't say that go and do that, right?
Yeah.
But this is just me talking about it. I was between this one and Chainlink, and while I was looking at all of these other crypto, bro, what I was finding is like they kept saying this is part of the, what is it called? The blockchain, the blockchain of Ethereum.
Okay.
All of them. Oh, we follow the Ethereum blockchain. Oh, we're on the Ethereum blockchain. So I'm just like, Ethereum is like the main thing, I guess, and all these other guys are just branches off of Ethereum. So yeah, it's interesting, man. I'm interested in getting other crypto again, like just to diversify my portfolio, I guess. Yeah. This one was also interesting. I looked at Pax Gold. This is Pax Gold. Let me see if I can pull it up here. Pax G. This one I also did research on it because it's kind of low, the price. Let's see. It's 1,700 today. Right. So I did research on this one and I was like, well, what is this about? This crypto is backed by gold.
Okay.
So if the value of gold goes up, I think. No. They have gold in a vault. That's what it is. They have gold in a vault and nobody is ever gonna touch that gold. So then if the value of gold goes up, this thing goes up también. Yeah. So it's like, haz de cuenta que you're holding gold, pero crypto, right? Okay. So I was like, okay, so this is like a good idea too. Like this crypto, it's like it's backed by something.
Instead of going out and buying actual gold, you just buy this.
You can just buy this. And I think there was somebody who said like, if you look at it, like it's like, I think they sell it by the ounce or gram. I'm not sure how they sell gold or how people buy gold, but the reason that it usually follows the market.
It does.
Yeah, it follows the gold market. This crypto, and so you also get paid like in BlockFi. Yeah, they pay you for holding it. For holding it. I wonder if there's a way you can see like what it's done in the market.
But what you were explaining about the interest rates there in BlockFi, they only pay you if you hold a specific amount. You can't hold less than that or more than that. It has to be that amount.
This is how it is. Watch. So like they have Bitcoin, anything from 0. You see that? This would be considered tier 1.
The 0.10. Tier 1 and you get 4.5%. Yeah. So, okay.
And this one también, tier 1 Ethereum, anything between 0. And so you could hold 0.0001.
And Bitcoin is 10%, right? The 0.10 is 10% of one coin.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So it's ahorita, what is it, like 40 some?
The Bitcoin? It's is it 40? Isn't it 40,000?
I don't know, I'm not sure.
See? I thought it was 50, 52. No, yeah, you might be right. It might have gone down to 44,000, 43 por ahí.
It's 42 right now.
42?
So 10% of that, would that be 4,000?
No, I think it would be like $420? No?
10%.
10% of 42,000. That would be $4,200.
$4,200. So that's the most you can hold for you to be able to get the 4.5%.
Yeah.
Right now, yes.
And that's monthly or?
This is
that's a yearly interest, but do you get paid every month?
The compound is it's paid out at the month, but every day you're earning interest.
Okay. Yeah. So it's paid out every month.
It's paid out every month.
And then so the next year, if you hold anything above 10% of Bitcoin, you only get 1%.
1%, yeah. 1% payback, yeah. And so then anything above that is 0.1. Okay. They didn't have this before.
So
before they didn't have this. When I told you about it, like we should get into this thing. No había estos tier things. But what they found was that people were buying a lot of crypto, and there was a lot of people making a lot of money.
I can imagine.
Because before it used to be like 8%.
Do you think maybe they did it because of the recent laws that they passed?
What laws?
I don't know what happened that they now the IRS is going to be able to look at anyone who or any platform that trades or sells
coins. Maybe it could be
because now they have to report all this stuff. Like this website. I think I didn't look at it, but I heard something happened, and that's also one of the reasons when there was a crash in the crypto markets because of the news came out. It was recently, like I want to say this past month.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, está con ganas. There's other websites that work like this. BlockFi, I don't know what the other ones are called. I've seen like como YouTubers that they talk about cryptocurrency. And there's like Coinbase. There's another what is it called? Like, I guess a broker. What would you consider BlockFi? What would that be? Like the company? A crypto exchange program or crypto exchange something, right? So like
broker, I guess,
Coinbase is another one. And I didn't know this, man. Like, pero you can actually make your own crypto if you want it.
See?
Like Joan says he wants to be a software
engineer.
Software engineer. You could create your own crypto and say like, oh, this is how much it's gonna be, and people just start. Yeah. People just start buying.
Base it on like anything that you want. Like those guys that did it like on advertising.
Yeah.
You can do it.
And that's the thing is que, so this is what they were saying right on that one, because it's only with Brave. Pero dicen, what's to stop Google from creating their own the same
Google
way?
Coin or something.
And they're just like, we would rather wait for that. And I'm just like, well, that's true, because when Google does do that, it's gonna be way bigger than this.
Yeah.
Pero pues these are the guys who created the idea first.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure that this idea has to be patented somewhere. Where it's like, if anybody follows this business plan, we own part of that company. ¿Me entiendes? So I don't know if it's gonna be where if other like Google or any other website or Google, what is it, like browsing software or lo que sea, if they start like following this idea also, I don't know if basic attention token is gonna be getting royalties, because pues that business model is that I hope they patented the idea, man, because when I was reading I was just like, oh damn, like if these are the only guys, it's a shame because there was some website, I don't even know what Brave is. Apparently it's like Google, let's see, Brave browser.
Should we go ahead and make our data podcast coin?
Data browser. It's a lion. Like that. And then it's like try Brave search, and you get, I don't know if it'll tell you here, but if we're looking at ads, you get paid, man.
You have to create an account there with the website, and then
crypto wallet. So you'll have like a wallet ahí, and then you start earning crypto tokens for your attention by opting in privacy preserving first party ads. Nomás y te vas. And people ahí, they're like all day, they let the computer go, and they're just getting crypto. It's what people are doing right now.
It's crazy. The future of crypto, I know it's going to be very interesting and good, but a lot of different cryptos. Like I know that some people play certain games that they earn crypto on for playing, and in these countries, they're like developing countries, so they make more money playing games and earning crypto than actually getting a job and getting paid. So it's interesting what the power that it has to do like in the world. But the thing, like right now that it's starting off, there's gonna be so many different. There's so many already that we don't even know that exist. They don't even know what they do, and it's hard to find like which ones are gonna be the ones that are gonna stay long term. They're gonna be the good ones moving forward, and then which ones are gonna be the ones that are just gonna stop.
So currently, right now, which coins do you guys believe are like the giants, like the biggest?
Bitcoin is the highest, but in my opinion, it's not worthy compared to Ethereum.
I
think Ethereum is like not undervalued, but like como an underdog. Like como people haven't recognized the value that
coin has.
Like Tano was saying, Bitcoin is more like value, and that's it. Ethereum is like the whole. It's like beyond. Like I've seen videos where they try to explain what Ethereum is, and I get lost in what they're talking about.
It's like providing services and stuff. Like whenever.
And safety and security.
Like Facebook is creating their metaverse, right? And I don't really have that much of an understanding, but whenever someone's gonna come in here and build their game or whatever their part in that metaverse, whatever they use there, or when users come into that game, they might need to pay for something, and they have to pay with Ethereum.
Okay.
Or something, so they're gonna have to constantly be buying.
That's interesting that you say that, man.
Ethereum.
That's interesting that you say that. I was during the Christmas break, but I was out for 2 weeks because the school gives us 2 weeks off. And there was a day I was with my sister and her boyfriend, and we were talking about the movie The Shining.
Okay.
And how it was todo chafo, right? And then he says, "Oh, part of that movie comes out in the movie Ready Player One." I hadn't seen it. I don't know if you've seen the movie
No, I haven't.
Ready Player One. So Ready Player One, the basic idea is like you're in person, ¿verdad? Pero now it's they call it the Metaverse ahí también. And it was this guy who created this video game who now like everything is virtual. So you put on the goggles and you can buy everything is in game, man. Purchases are in game. People are and you're talking about from little kids all the way to like viejitos. They're in the Metaverse playing games, right? Because the creator of the game, okay, he dies, right? He created like 3 Easter eggs. And it's like, if you find all 3 Easter eggs, an Easter egg is like a hunt. Like you go like treasure hunt, right? There's like 3 keys, and whoever finds all 3 keys gets to own that. He lifts all his shares of the company. Whoever wins gets all the shares of the Metaverse. Pues the Metaverse is worth a lot of money.
Yeah.
So ahí se empiezan a hacer like little clans, right? And there's one company where it's like, I forgot what they're called, but it's like a professional kind of thing. And it's like a business, right? It has floors y todo. And people are just there standing. Like he has like employees, right? The guy. And they're all inside the game. They're getting paid to play the game, right? In order to find the keys. And the only reason is because the owner wants the keys to get all the shares, right? So he has employees with that are ahí. So it's interesting, man, because ahí you go to the shop in the game, right? It's a movie, ¿verdad? Pero in the game, right? You go and there's like a shop and it's like, okay, you want to buy the vest, right? And the vest is like, so you can actually feel like somebody else, like if they touch you in the game, you can feel where the hand is going and stuff like that. Yeah. So it's like you purchase it there, y luego like viene y te cae in real life, y tú te pones it's crazy, man. It's like they buy stuff in the game and it comes to real life, and people spend more of it. Even the guy says in the beginning, people are spending more of their time in the actual game than in the real world. So at the end, pues the movie, as you can, I don't want to spoil it, pero he does something where it's like, let's not spend so much time in the game. It's fun y todo in the Metaverse, and let's have like 2 days out of the week where the game is shut down, right? So we can like be in real life and stuff, because suppose you can't have a kid. But you can't do like that kind of stuff in the game. But people get lost, man, and then you create like, you don't look like yourself. You can look like a sheep if you wanted to, you know, like you can put whatever face. You can be the opposite sex, man, if you wanted to, and things. So people like hide themselves ahí, and it's an awesome movie. I recommend you watch it. And that's where I first heard about Metaverse, right? And I know it's like Facebook, right? That's the one who changed the company. And they're creating I don't know what it is, what they're doing. But what are they doing with that? The Metaverse.
So I don't know. Have you played Roblox?
Yeah.
Okay, I've seen my brother play it. Yeah.
So I don't really have that big of an understanding of it, but my understanding is you can create a world, right? Like Minecraft, right?
Yeah,
you
I love Minecraft, man. I love Minecraft.
And then you can build like a city or different things. So in this Metaverse, the way I understand it is there's like a limited amount of space that they have, right? Because anyone can create this Metaverse. Like Facebook is creating their own, and they're calling it the Metaverse. But some other different company can create another one. It's gonna be like a different world.
But it's a branch off of the Metaverse. Like it's with the Metaverse.
No. You can't interact with each other. So this like Facebook has their own, and it's gonna be so it's a limited amount of space, and let's say different kinds of companies are buying space. They're buying their space and they're creating their own world.
They're buying property, no, bro. They're buying property. I heard about celebrity buying on the Joe Rogan podcast. They're talking about buying property. This is
virtual property.
This is virtual property, bro. Yeah. It's virtual property.
So you would think pues, it's infinite, right? Because it's it doesn't exist.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
But it's not. I think it
has to do something about their. Like the server space or something.
Bro, what the hell is that?
Maybe,
bro?
And also, like if they're
crazy,
using blockchain technology, it's also limited.
Yeah.
So they have just a limited amount of space. So it's obviously anything that has a limit is gonna
be valuable.
It's gonna be valuable. Yeah. So they're creating their different parts of in the Metaverse. Like they probably have like I don't know, some company have their own building or a game, and then another one has a different one, and you can interact.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
It's kind of like if it was Roblox, but I guess I don't know. Now they're gonna be using their virtual reality goggles and going in there.
That company or the people that buy the stuff, they own that piece of, I guess, virtual
the
land.
players.
Hey, do you have
No,
to pay
or the people
taxes
who
on
buy
it?
it.
Yeah, so these are companies buying like land,
Yeah.
virtual land, because they want to build something there so that now players or users can go into their
That's fucking crazy.
For advertising.
area,
and stuff like that.
advertising and stuff
Okay,
like that.
okay.
Is this taxable, man? Are they taxing like land if you own land there?
I don't
No?
think at the time, bro. I'm not sure. Right now, bro, it's
There
more
gotta
like
be, right?
I've heard like a small space going for I don't know how many millions of dollars. Right now,
See,
it's
yeah,
all
yeah, I heard about that.
like people being what do you call it? Speculating
Yeah.
on it. So
too.
it's not really right now. It's not anything. It's not worth anything or anything.
Yeah.
But they're spending a lot of money because they're thinking that
It could be valuable.
when it takes off,
Mhm.
it's gonna be very valuable. And they might be buying it because they're not gonna build anything there. But if they can like
So
lease
would-
out a space.
Would it be
Okay.
like that game?
In case.
Yeah.
Like that game Ready Player One,
Mhm.
but you put on the goggles and you put on the gloves,
Yeah.
and the way you start walking is like there's like this treadmill that's under your
Oh,
your
okay.
feet, and if you start turning, the treadmill también starts turning. Like it's like this crazy ass technology.
Mhm.
This metaverse thing, but buying properties y todo. Would you be in like would it be like that, like another world where it's like?
Have you ever used the virtual reality?
Yeah, I
goggles?
had the PlayStation ones. Yeah,
And
I've used those.
Because I had some when I had my old Galaxy phone that they gave them to me.
Sí,
for free, and I
yeah,
used to go in there, and there was different things that you can do. One of the things, like in the main screen, you were like in a world,
Mhm.
so you can interact, like move around and interact with the things there.
Mhm.
So I think it's gonna be the same way. You put the goggles on and you choose like which world you want to go to or whatever,
That's crazy,
and
man.
then you an avatar like you look down and you see your
That's
your
crazy, man.
character.
person.
And but for me, it was just the visual, right? You turn
Uh-huh.
around, and it was like a 360
Yeah.
world in there. And there was a game about a roller coaster, and it feels real
Yeah.
because you can see all the way around. But now they have all these other things that you were mentioning, like a vest or
Yeah.
gloves and stuff.
Yeah.
So I don't know how real it's gonna be. The thing that I'm questioning is like, we're in a different generation, right? Like,
Yeah.
I never saw my parents use a video game, but I've been gaming since I was a kid.
Mhm.
And now I'm 30 and I game.
Yeah, me too,
right?
man.
And I
Hell
see
yeah.
myself gaming in
Yeah,
the
me too,
future
man.
as
Cuando
well.
un viejito, vamos a
Right.
gaming, bro.
Right? So
Yeah.
it's a different time. So I was thinking like maybe this is gonna be for like children, but I don't think it is, bro. Because
Yeah.
in the goggles, they say that then when I had them back then, I don't know how it is now,
Mhm.
but it's not recommended for children under 12. I don't know how
I
because of
think
their
Their eyes and stuff like
messes
that.
with the what is it the not the
because
visual
their
cortex,
eyes
but
are
depth
developing.
depth perception and
Yeah.
everything, but our reaction time to the real world,
I don't
it's
know. What
kind of it gets
was.
lost. It gets lost.
Yeah, and they were actually wanting the owner. What's his name of Facebook?
Mark,
Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And wanting him to like what do you call it? Like acknowledge like what the problem is
Mhm.
for the kids, like what the risk is. But
Yeah.
he's shutting them down. He doesn't care.
Yeah, what I imagine is like this guy, yeah, what's his name? Elon Musk with Neuralink. I can imagine this going into the future where you wouldn't even need goggles. It would just
Okay.
be
Stabbed to
something
the
where
back of
it's
your
just like,
head.
yeah, something where it's just like, oh, I want to go into this world
Yeah.
now. But this is it's a bizarre concept. Where like we're talking about it, but and we're thinking like what's gonna be, but what benefits does this bring? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, it's
Like
more
like
like
what I understand it's a game, but
Mhm.
it's like that game, the Ready Player One. And this is what's crazy, man. It's like they make a movie or they make a game, and then it just becomes real life now.
Yeah.
And so what happens in Ready Player One is like, como if your character dies, like, because people can kill you there, and it's not like the real world where cops are gonna do it. No, it's like you die, you died,
Yeah.
and when you die, you lose all your money.
Oh,
Oh.
So that was one thing where
But can you respawn?
you can respawn, yeah, but you have to
to start
start
over.
from the beginning. Yeah, you have to start from the beginning. So that part, right? Like it's like I know pasó with PlayStation that they got hacked and a bunch of people who had linked their debit cards and credit cards with they lost a lot of money. Like this one to like what assurances would we have of I'm curious.
That's supposed to be the reason why they're using the blockchain, bro,
Mhm.
because it's
Yeah.
supposedly really hard to
To hack?
it into it or whatever. But it's really easy to trace anything that happened.
Mhm.
That's the difference.
Yeah.
It's really easy to find what happened, instead of like
Mhm.
someone hacking and then blocking their traces.
Yeah.
You know. You
Yeah,
know what I'm saying?
yeah. That crazy, man. I wish that you all had seen that movie because
Where'd you watch it?
I saw it during the Christmas break. I saw it on HBO. It's on HBO Max.
HBO Max.
Yeah. Ready Player One. There's like this one part where it's like, because you have like, you can have a job,
Yeah.
right? And
Wasn't like Roblox you do too? Like I
Yeah,
see
yeah.
my daughter playing, and she's like a pizza delivery person,
Hey,
and she needs to raise money
Yeah.
so she can buy things in the game.
same.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And they're just working all day delivering pizza,
Ding.
and then they deliver the pizza, and then they're like get money,
Yeah, yeah.
and they have money.
It's crazy because like in there's like a part in the movie where one of the characters, his job is like he's like a mechanic,
Mhm.
and so there's like this racing game, and so like si se quebra el carrito, right, pues you gotta go and get it fixed with a mechanic, right, and this guy's like, oh, my buddy's really good, he's a mechanic, right, and it's in the game, bro.
But he
And
has to actually fix it.
Yeah, they take the car, yeah, either he actually is fixing it, he's all welding, and
And I was like,
I was
imagine.
just like, man, this is crazy.
And
Like people losing themselves in a. I know I would, man. If this was a real thing,
Yeah.
man. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Yo me portara mal, bro.
Your work would be calling you.
Yo me portara
Danny,
mal.
you haven't been reporting to work.
I'm
Está todo con los
reporting
goggles.
this. Nomás ahí no killing other players y todo. Yeah, Pero yeah, man, it's a weird concept, bro. De todo eso. I wonder where.
I wonder where it's all gonna go, right? Or it's all gonna end up.
But we're probably all gonna die, bro. That's
Before?
what it is.
What do you mean?
No, like we're gonna die, and they're gonna preserve our brain somewhere, and that's where we'll live. No matter.
Maybe
Live
it's-
forever there in the
Just do that.
metaverse.
They uphook our brain to like their server and something. We live on forever in the game.
Live on forever in the game. Ahí está Kotaro. Chinela, bro. Yeah, it's like como part of like, I don't know, did you all see the new Matrix movie?
I haven't
No.
watched it.
no.
I wanna watch it.
Yeah, man, it's I don't wanna.
It's kind of like that too.
I don't wanna. So you know what it's about, right?
I've seen the
Like-
the first movies.
Like they're saying like the guy's like
He's-
so the movie, the new one, starts off like they're saying like Neo, like the Matrix, like everything that happened, the other 3 movies that he's like, this was a game you created. They were like, you got lost in your virtual reality world, and it's just like you need to be taking this pill because you can't differentiate virtual reality from actual reality, right? But it turns out, I'll just leave it there. But the whole beginning is like it's like just messing with your mind.
So this goes back to when people say that our reality is actually
A simulation.
A simulation. Yeah, man.
so
That
this
is
is
a simulation.
it's repeating itself now
So
with
wouldn't that be crazy? Where it's like you actually die here, and
wake
then
up somewhere else.
you end up waking up somewhere else, and you're just
the
like
for real like that was
yeah.
all the game.
yeah, and you're just like damn, and you just see like a bunch of pods like that, and you're just like, what the hell's going on?
And you know what would be even crazier? What if we're like avatars, like our actual bodies?
Well, you know how
we
we
look
were,
different.
You know how we were talking about demons in the last one,
Yeah.
and ghosts and stuff. So one of the things they say is like, there's no such thing
Okay.
as ghosts and demons, right? What it is actually is like, this is a simulation and it's a glitch in the system,
No.
where it's like, you'll start seeing a cup floating, pero it's like there's too
Computer
much,
glitch.
there's too many processes going on. Okay, it's just like it's a glitch in the system where it's just like, oh man, I just witnessed something paranormal, pero there is nothing paranormal about it. It's a glitch, right?
Yeah.
It's a glitch in the game. So yo me puse a pensar, and I'm just like, man, if that's true,
I was thinking the other day, bro, like how come we always use the excuse I'm only human, like I make mistakes.
oh yeah,
Like isn't it supposed to be like is that an excuse? Like everybody uses it as an excuse, like
yeah.
I'm human, I make mistake. Oh, I did this because I'm human. Like it's a common thing to know that humans make mistakes. And the thing going back to that, like every time you create like a computer or a game or something, it always crashes, it has bugs, it's
Yeah.
glitchy and stuff. It's never perfect.
Mhm.
Whatever we create is never perfect. So like I feel like whenever we make mistakes, it's like a glitch in our mind. Like sometimes I'll forget something.
Yeah.
Like I'm not supposed to forget it, right?
Mhm.
It's something that's so easy to remember, but I'll forget it. And it was like
Yeah.
I feel like that was just like a glitch that happened in.
Yeah, how,
And
would you,
me.
how would you explain Alzheimer's, man? Like a complete wipeout of memory,
RAM
just a
usage.
reset, too much space usage.
Too much
in the-
RAM usage.
Yeah, running out of space. Cause just like your disk ran out of. We can't
Memory.
We can't put anything new in there. So it's
We
just
can't
like
upgrade.
you just start getting lost in your own mind, right? That's crazy, man.
Imagine, because like when you have Alzheimer's, like you start doing like daily routines that you've
Yeah.
done before and stuff like that.
Uh huh.
So what if it's like you run out of space and like you're programming, you don't ever repeating your previous like records or whatever.
What you remember, yeah.
Yeah.
I know, isn't también que like when you're about to die, isn't I saw my life
Flash before my eyes.
eyes. It's just like como everything playing really fast, and it's just like como what is that? What is that, man? Like como so there's people who are capable of doing extraordinary things, man.
Yeah.
In the time of like adversity or when adrenaline kicks in, like there was this. I remember hearing about this one story where it's this viejita, right? Just an old lady. And her husband was working on the car. He was working on the car in the garage. And so he's under there, right? He has the car jacked up, and he's working under it, ¿verdad? Y pues el carro se cae, bro. It falls on top of him. And he starts, ¿verdad? Pues he starts yelling, que pues he's gonna die, like it's crushing him. And then the viejita goes, right? She goes to her husband, and she lifts the car, man. The adrenaline just kicks in. She's able to lift it, and the guy se sale. What is that? What is that, man? Like, como, you've seen like como people doing incredible things. Like people have certain gifts. Or there's like this one guy. I don't know if you ever saw like it's like based off of Marvel. It was like a reality show que salía on Discovery Channel. And it's like actual superheroes. It's like como people who can do extraordinary things.
Yeah.
Well, there was a guy like he's like blind. He can't see, but he does like this echolocation thing.
Like Daredevil.
He's like popping. So he's like making a popping, clicking sound with his tongue, and he can see without what's around him, right? And it's just like people developing other senses. There was this one guy who could bend metal.
Yeah.
He has like a pan and he just lo dobla como un taco, bro. It's like como nada, bro. Como nada, bro.
But what I think is, I believe the God created us, right?
Yeah.
So the way we create things, also us as human beings, as creators, like we create technology and stuff, and we make it very similar to. As the years go by, we're like making things very similar to what we are like a computer. Let's say, a computer's really fast and everything, but it doesn't perform as fast as like a human brain. But as the technology progresses, we can get close, right, to that, or we can make it's gonna get to a point like when we can create maybe like a living thing, or I don't know, but. It's very similar, like if God created us, right? Yeah. It's very similar to the things that we use to create other things. So it is kind of like we're made by God, like let's say machines or whatever. But it's so advanced, like it's so perfectly made by God that we're just like the most perfect machine that's ever been made. That can reproduce itself and it can fix itself and heal itself and stuff like that, you know?
Yeah.
Like you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, I get it, man. Yeah, it's like there was this, I don't remember how the joke goes, but it's like there's a competition and I might mess it up. So it's like it's God and it's man. And man says, "You know what? We're better than God." Like como I want to challenge God, like I want to create something too. And it's just like, "All right. So what do you want to create?" God's like, como, it's a joke, but God's like, "What do you want to create?" And they're just like, "Well, let's start off with something simple." He's like, "Let's plant something." He says, "So, okay, so what do you want to plant?" "Well, let's plant a tree. And I bet I can plant a tree better than you and faster than you, ¿verdad? And this is the competition." Algo así is the joke, man. I might be getting some of the details wrong, right? So then it's like, okay, well, no, let's do it. And then, pues, se va el man running, he's running, and then God's like, "Wait, where are you going?" And he's like, "No, pues, I gotta go get dirt." And then God's like, "Go get your own dirt."
It's my dirt.
Yeah, he's like, "Go get your own dirt." Y pues ahí se queda viendo para algo así es el chiste, bro.
Yeah, because I was watching también una series on Netflix. It's about it's called Lost in Space.
Okay.
It's like a kids show. I like watching it.
Yeah.
Pero in this show, he runs into una alien. It's an alien robot. It's a robot, but it's made by aliens.
Okay.
So as the series goes on and stuff, like towards the end of the series, he finds out that those robots were actually made by aliens, and they were made to look like them. Yeah. And then he said something like, "I guess making, like, creating something or whatever to in your own image is human nature. Yeah. Even though you're not human. You know how we try to create robots that they look like humans, you know, like the droids or whatever.
Sí.
So that was interesting to me. Como even aliens would make a robot but to look like them. Like God created us, right, in His image. That's what the Bible says. And we try to create something. We try to make it look like us. Yeah. Right? That's our main objective. Like by making computers and stuff to make our lives easier, we're basically trying to replicate ourselves, right?
Dicen que there's like this, I don't know what it's called, but it's like we try to put a face to something. Like we can start looking at like a wall and we're looking for eyes, a nose, and a mouth, right? And there's like this thing in, this is going a little bit off topic, but like in Mars, they found like a face in Mars, right? And it's just, dicen like, it's not a face, it's just people trying to put something there.
Naturally,
right?
we do that.
Yeah,
we find a face so we
we're-
can characterize.
We're trying
with
to,
that.
like el marrano que está en la pharmacy, bro.
And what they're trying to do is say that since you know how we have the pyramids here and stuff, they're trying to say that that is pyramids over there, but that are like decomposed from the time.
Yeah.
That's why they're trying to find that face.
Nobody knows for sure.
Yeah.
And it's crazy, man. Pero like we're talking about this virtual reality, ¿verdad? And could this be a simulation? But one of the things that the devil does is like he's trying to hide the truth, right? Trying to disguise the truth, and he'll do all this masking stuff. So what if all of this is fake, man? What if all of this isn't what we think it is? And in reality, ¿verdad? Like when he tells Jesus, like, como, go ahead and eat that bread, right? And surely, ¿verdad? If your God, ¿verdad, loves you, he would feed you with that. But then he's like just holding a stone.
Yeah.
What if like all of this is something else, but we're perceiving it like the way que nos está aventando el diablo, you know? It's like como we're seeing it like this way, like you know, but in reality we don't know what we're actually messing with, man.
Yeah.
Like, isn't that scary? Because you wouldn't be able to see.
Yeah, you don't know.
Yeah.
Like one of the things I was talking to my students about, because we were, I don't know if I talked about it in the previous podcast, but it was the concept of zero. Did I talk about it in the last one? The concept of zero.
I don't remember, bro.
No.
I don't remember.
So we were starting to get into integers and rational numbers and stuff, and so it's like one of the questions that we faced was like, describe the number zero, right? And so I said that I just nomás les dejé a ellos, right?
Okay.
I was just like, okay, what do you all think? He went, no, pues it's a number, sir, right? It's a number, and I'm like, okay, what about it, right? No, pues it's we're looking at the number line, right? And I tell him like, do you see how it doesn't have a negative or a positive attached to it, right?
Doesn't exist.
It's just neutral. And they're just like, pues
We made it up.
zero is nothing, sir. They tell me, and I'm just like, okay. And I said, so you're saying like como zero is nothing, but you're giving me a definition though. And they're just like, what is zero? And so this is when I started getting philosophical with them.
Confuse all your
And
kids,
I was just like, como, in this life, we see zero. We can see it, but we look at it.
No.
But to understand it, nobody in this world can explain to you what zero is. If I say like como zero is like death, right? And it's like a void, it's an emptiness, it's a cold place, and that's what they started telling me. It's dark, sir. There's nothing there, sir. And I'm just like, everything. And I was like, como, you're explaining. I'm like, you're telling me what it is. You're giving me definitions. I was like, the only way to know what zero is you would have to sleep forever. You would have to forever sleep, and even then, but you go beyond. And only you would know what zero is then. And I was like, there's only one person or deity that knows what zero is. You know más les hice así. Like, there was only one person, and I was talking to this with my family, and I was just like, only one person that went to hell, conquered the grave, came back. Only that one person knows what zero is. And even if you didn't know that, pues when you read the Bible, it says, in the beginning there was the Word, and nothing but the Word, and the Word was God, and the Word was... So only God knows. Only God was there when zero was around.
Yeah.
So isn't that... Our brains aren't developed. I think and that's the only way, bro. To understand zero, you have to die.
To take it a little bit deeper and further, bro, zero doesn't exist. Right? And it never existed. You said in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God. So it was never zero, because it was always God. It's always one there, or three. But in the way that I have been explained, zero to me is it doesn't exist. It's just something that human beings came up with. Yeah. So that we can take correct measurements of other things. Like, so you can measure 1 and then 2. So like, because if you get 1 minus 1, you'll be so confused because if there's no numbers for zero. But we don't know. We can't understand what nothing is because nothing doesn't exist. Yeah. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. And they were telling me like they were like, pues sir, pues I don't have any apples on my desk. Yeah. And I was like, okay, on your desk, but there's apples around the world. I was just like, you're limited to what you have here. Yeah. I was like, but what you don't have, somebody else does have it. I was like, so you can't tell me that there's nothing nowhere. Everywhere there's something. Yeah. So this is I was saying this is a paradoxical thought. Yeah. I was like, you cannot get out of this cycle. And that's why I was like, that's why it's shaped the way it is. Is because it just, we don't know what zero is. And so that's,
And we use it every day.
and we use it, yeah. We say like, no, pues I have zero money. And pues, yeah, you do, but somebody else does.
Yeah.
It's not that money doesn't exist. It's just that you don't have it, right? Or you don't have something. And it's a bizarre concept, man. Now, one of the things, okay, so since we're getting into a little bit of religion aquí, there was a day que I was playing a video, and I played a video, y me duermo right on YouTube, and I was listening to what they were talking about. And it's this one guy, and I don't know if it was like a religious debate or what it was, but this guy says this, right? He's like, why does God say, ¿cómo era? Why does God say, cut the tree of life? Oh, no. Kick them out of the garden, right?
Yeah.
Before they become like us,
Like us.
right? Before they become like us, right? So, what does that mean? Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, it's like, because this is what people say. So I gotta go back, man. People say that the fruit that Eva ate, they associate that with sex. They say like, what it was is that they had sex. And I was just like, okay. So if you're saying that they had sex, right, and that's the biggest sin, right, eating the fruit, you're making it a metaphor for having sex, and that's not what it is. It was the tree of knowledge of good and evil. But people, I don't know where they got this idea from, que it has to do with sex. I said, and you're telling me, que in order to live forever, you're passing on your genes, ¿verdad? Your name, your family name lives forever. But then what was the point of the tree of life then? I'm like, come on, you have it wrong. So I was just like, when God says, oh, I don't know who's there, and part of the conversation, that's one thing that we don't know who's talking here, right? Because I was looking at the verses and I'm like, who is discussing, who's making this discussion? And dicen, now they've eaten the fruit, ¿verdad? And they know right from wrong. Let's get them out before they become like us. What is that? No, before they become like one of us, dicen. He has become one of us, and let's get rid of them so that they don't live forever. Algo así.
Something like that. We should look up the verse.
He's become one of us. Let me see.
Yeah, because they had... But in the beginning, they're... ¿Cómo se llama? El engaño. ¿Cómo se dice?
The betrayal.
Yeah, it was telling them, like, if you want to become like God, eat from this tree. So
le dice la serpiente is like... you can know... is it to become like God? Or that you would know right from wrong like God?
Yeah.
Is it... let me see.
Look up the verse because I'm already...
A ver.
But it was like telling them that by eating that tree, they were going to become more like God, knowing everything right from wrong. So that was a lie right there. Because once they ate it, now God is saying, don't let them eat from the other tree because if not, they're going to...
It's Genesis 3... A ver. Genesis 3... And now... The serpent, shall not eat of the tree. Okay, you would die, right? Look at it. It's like, God has told you that if you eat from this tree, you will surely die, right? And then you shall not die, for when the day your eyes shall be opened, and you shall be like God's knowing good and evil. So, and then aquí dice, where is it? It's verse 11. No. Hear the voice. It's where they find when they start that conversation has become like one of us. ¿Dónde está eso? Garden.
I think it's further.
22.
Yeah, go to the next chapter. Right there. Verse 22. And the Lord God said, "Behold, the man has become one of us."
What is that, bro?
Okay.
One of us, bro. What is that?
To know good and evil. It explains it right after.
What?
To know good and evil.
So, pero one of us, bro. What is that? There's other people here. It's God and he's saying one of us. What is that? This is like they didn't get into this, but they're saying one of us. What is that? Is it? Okay. My dad was saying it's the Trinity. That the Trinity is there, and I said if that's true that the Trinity is there, is one of the three? Do one of the three only know right from wrong, good and evil? What is that?
No, because he's saying like us. So they
one of us. He said. Behold, the man is become one of us. Not all of us has become like us. He said one of us here, right? Has become. It's not said he's become like the spirit, or he's become like the son, or God himself. He's saying he's become one of us that knows right from wrong. What is that?
Well, it's like it was explained como when the serpent was talking, you will be like gods.
Oh, did they say gods?
Yeah, with lowercase g. You will become like gods, knowing good and evil.
Uh-huh.
So these gods or beings or whatever it is, they have the knowledge that at that time the human beings didn't have. What I'm getting from here, bro, is that was the point when human received their consciousness.
You see that? That's what the King James version.
Like
does
maybe
that.
they were
It gives
just like
them,
animals or something.
It gives them lowercase. I was going through this, bro, and my mind just shattered. Not like como my religious, my spirituality, or whatever is broken or come into question, but I said, what is that? There's more people here. If you would consider God a person, ¿verdad? There's somebody else in this conversation happening aquí.
Yeah.
The man has become one of us. There's a council here.
Yeah.
There's like some kind of meeting taking place. And I said, pues we know that it's the Son, the Holy Spirit, and God himself, right? It's three things. And I'm like, pues is it only one of those three things that knows good and evil?
It can't be that, bro, because what one knows, the other knows. They're one person. So they share all the same characteristics or knowledge.
This is bizarre, man.
What I'm getting is more of like, they'll become one of us is he's talking about either just God himself, the Trinity, or the host of angels and fallen angels, all kinds of angels that are seen as gods, as they say here, right, with the lowercase g, that have a higher knowledge than humans did at that time.
Hey, Lo dice, he drove out the man and placed him at the east of the garden, cherubims and a flaming sword, which turned every way to keep the way of the tree of life.
Yeah.
So, people who have this idea que this is sex, where have you heard this?
Nah.
Que dicen like como, no, la manzana era, dice like como era la parte de la mujer, and Adán, ¿verdad? Comió de ahí, and they had sex, and I'm just like, what?
No, 'cause I guess people can.
I'm like, what are you, where
own.
is that interpretation coming from, man? What is that, right? And then the other thing that I found out, I didn't know, was that after this, right, these two people, Adam and Eve, that they have sons, right? And that's where Cain and Abel are from. I didn't know that it was that they were the parents de estas dos gentes, right? And then that's where you start getting like como that favoritism kind of crap. Okay, it's like como, what was he doing? Abel was giving the best sacrifices or offering the best of his stock to God. Cain le estaba dando lo que sea. It was just like, nambe que se lleve lo que sea, right? And I guess que entró el celo somehow, right? Somehow le entró el celo a Cain, and he's just like como like, who started that? Okay, it's like como Abel's the favorite. Was it God himself that did that, or was it que se supuso eso el vato in his mind? It was just like he saw it himself, like Abel's always giving the best of his stuff.
I've heard different interpretations of that those verses. One of them was like, Abel came with a lamb, so it was a representation of Jesus Christ. And then the other guy came with his what he had worked on. Yeah. And bringing it to God. But even though it was the stuff that he was working on that he produced, it was like offering like, I did all this work for you, right? But he still, even though he was offering like whatever was left over, whatever was broken, like he wasn't gonna have any use for it anyway. So it was like, and then was God being as holy as he is, like you're offending me. Right, so those two different interpretations, like you're offending me with this. He's actually bringing the best that he has, and then the other interpretation was like his was accepted because he saw the redemption that God was going to give in the future. Jesus Christ, the representation was the Lamb. That's why he was accepted, and the other one wasn't, because he was trying to offer his works, and he was offering Jesus Christ himself. You know, that's a different interpretation that I have gotten from that. But what were you trying to get from that? Like, who started? No, I was just like como, because that is where you start getting like como this hate thing, because Cain kills Abel, right? Yeah, he kills Abel because of the same thing. Like it's like como, was he that God was saying like como he was favored in the eyes of God, and then he wasn't.
Yeah, was that like como why would the Creator do that? That's the question. Why would he favor, if they're both the seed of your first creation? right? Like, como, why have favoritism to what they're bringing you? Is that, like, como, se supone que God doesn't have favorites. He's like a blind to justice.
Well,
like,
at this point, they're all worthy of death because of the sin.
Yeah.
The parents and all their children, and forever, the generations forever.
Yeah.
The only salvation was Jesus Christ. That's why it's very interesting that what Abel brought was the representation of the salvation, which was Jesus Christ.
So,
maybe that's why.
My other question with this stuff, bro, is, right, so it's the tree of good and evil, right? And then there's the tree of life there.
Yeah.
And he first created Adam, right? And then Adam vio que, like, como que he was by himself, felt lonely, ¿verdad? Let's make the woman out of this guy, right? So, what was the point of this?
By that point, bro,
Like,
they might have already had children also. Because the Bible doesn't mention it.
Yeah.
But they might have been recreating before the sin. Before the sin.
But what was the point of this, bro? The
point of having the tree?
Like,
or
the point of making this at all? Like, como if not that the intention was, like, you have the tree of life there, but these people weren't going to live forever, obviously.
Well, they were. They were supposed to.
Okay. They were supposed to.
Death didn't come until they ate from the tree.
Pero how? If suppose that they had eaten from the tree of life, and I don't know what it does.
Yeah.
I don't know what the tree of life does. I don't know if it makes you immortal.
I don't know, bro. If this is just my idea, right?
Yeah.
They might have eaten from the tree of life before, which maybe.
Ese sí podían comer.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, because they could eat from every tree.
Nomás the good and evil. Just not from down.
Yeah, but the thing is like there's a part.
Now I get it.
There's a part in the Bible that mentions that in the future, que va a haber 1,000 years. I don't know what they call that, pero like for the people to be healed and stuff, there's gonna be a tree that's always with their leaves. They're gonna be healed and stuff. So it's something they have to do continuously. So maybe like this tree of life gave them life as long as they kept eating it. Maybe that's why it got taken away, because if they continued eating it from, they're just going to live forever. But now there was a curse that they had to die, right? So now it's taken away from them. So they might have eaten from that one before. The problem was like, you shall not eat from this tree. And then the interpretation and my idea is that, and I've heard this before, and I agree a little bit with this idea because it explains a little bit. Like, why would God have them there anyway? Why would God have created them anyway?
That tree, bro. Why was it there in the first place, bro?
Okay, so the explanation that I believe, right, is God is a creator, naturally. He likes to create things. He's always creating new.
And he knows everything that's going to happen.
He knows everything that's going to happen. So when he created even angels, bro, he creates us with our own with our own free will.
Yes.
To choose, right?
Yes.
To choose either to love you or not to love you, right? So in order to be able to have that affection or that interaction with someone, that person has to be able to freely choose to love you. Because if you just create them as a robot to love you, then how do you know if it's authentic or if it's something you created a robot, right? So the only way to know if someone is or something is actually gonna obey you or love you or choose you is to give them the choice. Okay. And there's no other way to give them the choice other than to have them the option to choose something else, you know. And the whole garden was good. Everything was good. It's just one tree. Like just had one job.
And
this
was the other thing.
But God knew that they were gonna choose that, right? Yeah. But still, He chose to go through with it, because even though before He made His creation, He loved His creation. Yeah. And even though He knew what was gonna happen, He already knew that He had to sacrifice His Son.
I don't know how true this is. But my dad was saying, I didn't go back to verify the verse. Pero dice que like God creates the world, but then He saw it was good. God created animals and He saw it was good. And my dad said que God created man, and then He rested. No, dice que that was good, and I couldn't find.
I think it says that it is good. No?
It is good.
Let's just go back to it. It should be in the first chapter.
The first chapter?
I'm not sure if it's the first chapter, but it should be like within the first ones. It doesn't go that deep into it. I think the first chapter is
I didn't bother like checking to see if he was right on that.
What he does say, bro, is in chapter 6, he says, God repented in His heart that He created man. At that point, right? But I don't know what that means, because it's like Danny says, He knew what was going to happen and what He was going to have to go through. But
he doesn't say, bro. He was right. No, he said it was good. They say, so God created man in His own image. In the image of God created he and him. Male and female created He them. And God blessed them. Nomás He doesn't say that it was good.
Okay.
yeah, bro. But going back.
Yeah. 31. He said, and God saw everything that He had made, and behold, it was very good.
Oh, okay.
Everything encloses everything. It doesn't specifically mention.
Yeah. Pero it's funny how like
it
he created like aquí great whales and this, and he saw that it was like he saw it was good, like. But man no dijo specifically.
That's interesting. The other interesting thing that I got from all those things also was that when He created the living things of the living things in the water and the living things on earth, He told, I don't know how this Bible says it, but in the one that I have, it says like, let earth produce the living trees and the living animals. Let the waters produce all the living creatures. But when He talks about man, He says that let us make. Like, you get what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like earth produced its animals in the water. Earth produced its trees. Earth produced its animals. But when it comes to humans, He personally made them. That's what I got from
and
there.
He made them to be fruitful and multiply. That's what He made them for, right?
Yeah.
So the question aquí is, why make this tree and have a rule that you're not... Why put that there? It's like como, you know what little kids are, man. Right? And you tell a little kid like como, los cigarros son malos. No los toques, no los prendes, pero aquí está.
Hey.
Y tú te vas.
No,
pues they're gonna, y les dejas la light y todo, they're gonna light it up,
and
right?
they've done experiments on children with this, like they'll leave a cake there, and that's all.
Sí, I've seen those, don't touch it. Y está nomás ahí pensando, right? There's one kid, he's like this, y luego, they touch the cake, right? Why, bro? If, and this is my interpretation of things.
Yeah.
God knows everything. It's no surprise to Him that the devil was gonna betray him. It's no surprise that man la iba a cagar. It's no surprise that where we're at. All of this God already knew about it. And this is what I was telling my dad. Is there such a thing as free will, bro? Is there such a thing? What do you think?
There is.
You're saying that there's free will. Okay, so now here's where I'm gonna.
Is this what we're gonna talk about?
Here's where I'm gonna not prove. Yeah. There is free will.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say, no, Dano, you're wrong. There's no free will. Okay, there is. You have a choice. Okay. But here's the thing. When you choose to walk those steps, the God steps, you don't have a say anymore.
The God steps, what do you mean?
Like the path of the righteous.
Oh, like when you choose to live...
the path of Jesus.
Okay.
If you actually pick up your cross and follow Jesus, at that point, when you make that decision,
you have no more free will.
You have no free will.
I actually I've thought about that before.
Yeah.
And I've researched it, and I actually wrote a paper on... It's the exact same thing we were going to say. Yeah. But I want to hear your
okay, so this is how I know this, right? Mm-hmm. So, Jesus, before he gets arrested y todo, he knows what his mission is, ¿verdad? And he's there. He pleads with God, ¿verdad? And I don't know what the garden is called. That night he gets arrested. He's there for hours praying, ¿verdad? Like, y luego le dice, as you will it, your will be done. The prayer que dice, what is it? Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, the kingdom come, thy will be done. Thy will be done. Okay? Yeah. Not my will. Not what I want to do. No. I made the choice. Choice to follow this path. Yeah. This path is laid out for me. This path is one of, okay, I have to go through this a huevo, right? You've painted the road. I know that I have to be nailed to the cross. I've seen it already. There, you don't have, once you decide that path ahí, you're done. You have to, can't, because he doesn't back out, bro. He had the choice. Yeah. He had the choice to say, like, no, ¿sabes qué? Ya me chicotearon mucho, ya no quiero nada aquí. Like, Jesus, at any point, he could have said, like, no, ¿sabes qué? I'm out, like, como, you know what? Yes. Like, como, I'm wrong, but I'm sorry, I made a mistake, right? I'm crazy. He didn't. He knew that he had to follow this path. This path wasn't his to make. It's not ours to make either, bro.
No. Well,
it's scary, bro.
The reason I started thinking about this whole concept that you're talking about is because I was thinking about heaven. And I was thinking, like, if all of us are going to be in heaven, just like the angels were in heaven, and even they fell, I was like, we're going to make dumb decisions if we're just the way that we are now, right?
Yeah.
We're going to make poor choices. We're going to fight with each other.
I'm not saying to be perfect. That's not what I'm saying.
No. No, I understand. But this is what brought me to this thinking, right? I was like, if we have our own free will at that point, then it's going to be chaotic. It's not the way heaven sounds, right? So I was like, are we just going to have, like, no will? Like, we're just going to do whatever I don't know.
In
like,
heaven?
Like we're not gonna have a choice to do anything else, because if we have a choice, we're gonna mess up. You know, that's the history has shown. Right. So that's why I started thinking about this. But then I'm thinking, I don't think that free will goes away, bro. I was just gonna give you a little bit of contra, and this just in this thought that you're not actually given up your will. You are kind of, but you're not, because one of the places in the Bible was very interesting that it says that we're no longer slaves to sin, but slaves to God. So slave in itself is a word that you're not your own. You don't own your own self. Freedom. You're not your owner, right? So God owns you. Yeah. So that makes sense to your point. Yeah. But you made the choice to follow God on your own. So you're kind of saying, and this is what I believe, right? What I say is, you're God. You are all the knowledge that there is. You know everything. I know nothing. So yes, I want to follow what you want me to do, because what I want to do is I don't know.
So you're saying to make
I want to do your will, not necessarily just because I'm giving up my own will, but because I know that this way is better, is higher, you know. But you're doing it out of your own will. You're giving up your will out of your own will. So at the end, it is your will. You get what I'm saying? You're like, your will and God's will becomes one. Well, but it's not according to you. It's according to, like, you're giving it up.
Yes. So I get what you're saying. Yeah. But the only free will is the right to choose. You have the, like, and I'm watching The Sopranos, right? And then one of the things they say there is, like, the people who wrote the Declaration of Independence, right? Thomas Jefferson. They say the right to pursue happiness. The pursuit of happiness, they say, right? The pursuit of happiness. Now, happiness isn't a guarantee. Yeah. It's the pursuit is the guarantee. You have the choice. You don't have to do anything if you don't want to. So that's what I'm saying here. When you make this choice, like Jesus in the garden, when he made the choice, it's just like, you know what, Sasuke? I accept it. This is how it has to be, because this is how you want it to be, right? Yeah. And it's what you want it to be, right? I'm no longer in control. Yeah. I'm just the instrument and not the hand, right? So when we make that choice here, it's kind of the same thing, isn't it? Yeah, once you give up, the driver's just like, there's a song that you say, I let the hands go of the steering wheel. You just take the wheel, right? Yeah. We don't have a say anymore, man.
I think that in Christianity, in our lives, in our walk in this earth with God, you do give your will to God and let God's will be done, but it doesn't necessarily mean that sometimes you're not going to make your own decision, even though it's not God's will, and you will make choices and decisions that are not according to God's will. We will. Yeah. Even every Christian.
So this is where te voy a sacar de onda, bro. So we're talking about free will, and we're saying that I have the choice. Pero it was already written. This conversation that we're sitting down here, the three of us, this conversation was written before it began. This had already happened, played out somewhere. God knew we were going to be talking about this. God knew everything was going to happen, right? So if that's true, right? Even before he made Lucifer, he knew, I'm going to make this thing. It's going to betray me. I know how this ends. I know the time and hour where I come back and I end the entire thing. Only I know that, right? If that's true, then you really don't. It's like an illusion. So he says, like, ¿sabes qué? I have a choice. pero you really don't. It's like como God said, like, como he created you with that. He knew, like, there's like a thing, like, he knows all the numbers of your hairs. He knew what you were going to do. Yeah. He knows all your sins, but the ones you haven't committed. It's like como...
But only he knows.
Yeah, only he knows. So this isn't... this is like a movie playback, haz de cuenta, bro.
But only for him.
Well, for us también. If you start looking at it like that, yeah, bro, because vamos a decir, like, I pick up this glass, right? And I talk to you, but I picked up the glass, and I have it in my hand. But now I'm telling you that before I picked up that glass, it was written somewhere in stone, somewhere in the stars, that I would tell you I would pick up that glass. Yeah. Is it because I chose to pick it up, or because it was written somewhere that I would pick up that glass and talk to you about picking up the glass and going back, but I'm telling you that it was written somewhere in stone, right?
What do you think, Joan? I want to say something, but I'll let you.
Let's see, bro. Like, I get what you're trying to say, bro. Yeah. Like, if everything has already been set in stone, our perception would be, or your perception would be that we don't have no free will.
Uh-huh.
But I think that comes the benefit of being like ignorant or arrogant to the situation, where in the case of that might be true, in our perception and stuff, we have like in the view of the ignorant people, they feel as though they have the power, and I guess that's the beauty in ignorance, and that's why they say ignorance is bliss.
Okay.
Like you're saying, like como people who think they're in control are ignorant. Who think like, I'm not in control, bro. I can get a heart attack aquí and I'll just die, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's exactly what I was thinking about right now. I think that we do have the choice to make up to a certain point. There's a point on forward where we don't. Yeah. Right. We don't have a say in it. But here's the thing: the reason it may see, if there's anyone who knows the future, that knows how it's gonna play out, it could cause someone to think like you're thinking right now that is written. It doesn't mean that it's written. It just means that they have seen what happens, but only that person knows. It would be different if you knew what happened in your own life tomorrow, and you know that there's a way that you can change it. Then you would be able to change something now. But you can't say that now.
Would you change it? Like, como God knew that Lucifer was gonna betray him, right? Wouldn't he come to a point where it's like, como, let me not create him? Wouldn't he?
Well, that's exactly the point that I'm trying to tell you. Like right now, you may think that because you don't know what the future is like. Right? Up to now, it may seem like it was a bad idea. But in the future, he knows something that we don't. That for him is like, it was a good thing that I made him. You get what I'm trying to say?
Okay.
It's something that we may
right
not
now
comprehend, understand. Because the Bible says like, your thoughts are like earth and heaven. Your thoughts are like earth, and my thoughts are like as big as heaven. So like, God's thouts are the universe, and our thoughts are as limited as the earth. You get what I'm saying?
Because we're not him, and can't comprehend.
So we can't understand. I believe like if I had the power to see into the future, 5 or 10 years from now, and I saw something that I would like to change, and if I came back, I believe that I do have the power to because even right now I can make a choice. Like I choose red or I choose
like
green.
If you said like if I start working out now, I might be able to add maybe 10 years to my life. But is that your choice, bro? That's the thing. Somebody somewhere that idea was planted in you. It wasn't you see what I'm saying? It's like como it's not you yourself, man. Like it's something else that's somewhere you can't see it. These ideas, like the decision to go to school, the decision to do this and that, good things, bad things también. Is there something that we can't see here that is influencing that idea, and you just act on it?
Actually,
on impulse,
actually, I was thinking about something else that has something to do with this, and I was gonna bring it up and I forgot, but I reminded right now. So, like, whenever someone, let's talk about Elon Musk, right? Okay. And how he become most powerful man in the world, billionaire, whatever. Yeah. Is it because he decided to be that person, or because he was already predestined to be who he was
predestined, bro?
Or let's talk about like Bill Gates or Donald Trump. I don't know that many people, but like they were predestined to be there.
Predestined for those positions.
You don't think it's because you don't think like let's say
even the lowest position, man.
You don't think it's because maybe they actually made a choice in their lives that made a difference. They made a decision that to get where they are. No. It's because they were already destined to be there.
They were destined.
So, in a way, I don't agree with you here, because in a way, like if you say that, everybody will be discouraged of trying to do to become whatever they dream of becoming. And if that was the case, we wouldn't have the people doing whatever it is that it has to take to get them to where they are. And if, like, let's say Elon Musk had this kind of mentality, he would have never have gotten there.
If everybody was successful, pues then everybody would be the same. Even like como in the animals, like the ants, there's a queen, there's the worker ants, there's the soldier ants, there's the ones that like guard the food supply, that the bees también. They have like there has to be that. It's like como our destiny is one of where we're at. Even like the low, if you consider like the lowest of the low, and you say like como the person flipping burgers in McDonald's, right? That's destiny. Like como that's
You're like
it's something else que te empieza a poner like, man, if only I had a Ferrari and I had all these viejas, right? That's you yourself.
Yeah.
But in the position que estás ahí is because that's where you're supposed to be. That's where not supposed to be, but that's what you deserve.
Like right now that we're doing this podcast, right? Do you think this is meant to be that we're here? Maybe someone watches or whatever, or do you think this only happened? Only it wouldn't have existed if it wasn't in the decision of Danny to take the initiative and say, you know what, I want to buy this kind of equipment. I want to make this kind of a decision.
It was written, bro. It was written somewhere. It was like I had the idea. Like even now, you say like, como it's 3 of us here, but in reality, Jesus is somewhere here, bro. Jesus is standing here because the Bible says anywhere where there's 2 or more people gathered in my name, I'm there also. Yeah. So even though we're not seeing him, he's here also. So this is all ordained. This is all.
Well, there's one thing in the Bible, bro, that catches my attention that it weirds me out a little bit. It speaks about something like this, and it says, I think it's Paul saying, "What if I made?" I think he calls them vases, vasos. What is it?
Like cups.
Yeah, I don't know the word in English, pero I'm saying in Spanish. Como dice, ¿qué tal si hice los vasos de gloria para darme gloria y luego los vasos de, what does he call them?
Vases.
Vasos. Is this comparing people like people? What if I made people who were supposed to give me glory to give me glory, and then the other
like you're saying like the working thing, like I'm saying, okay.
Yeah, like, and what if I made the other people to be like rebellious against me, to show like the rebellion against me? Like I don't know how to. I don't remember exactly the verse. I'm gonna try to look for it.
I get what you're saying,
but what he's saying is like, I made them to be like that, you know, because there's one verse in the Old Testament where there's I think it's the Pharaoh or some king that is not listening to what God is saying, and God is sending all these plagues.
Pharaoh. Yeah.
Pharaoh. Well, and then he says, I hardened his heart so that he would see that I am God. Like le está diciendo, he didn't make that decision on his own. Like I made his heart hard.
Yeah.
Hard. You know what I'm saying?
Like lo hizo de adrede, esto tiene que pasar.
So the guy had no choice to rebel against
even
God. Even
though like he wanted to do the right thing, he couldn't because God ya lo había hecho así. Yo voy al baño, bro.
Es lo que estaba pensando en este caso, son del baño.
Yo voy al baño, bro. Y'all can discuss without me.
¿Estamos live todavía?
Yeah, well not live, pero
we're... ¿Qué quieres decir tú, bro?
Well, like, if everything is predestined to be, right? And the way Dan is saying. Entonces, why are we alive? You get me?
Mm-hmm.
Like, if it is supposed to be like that, then there's no joy in life if everything's already set out to us. And then if we follow that path, right, and we don't like it, well, we just do nothing.
Okay.
Or can we not do nothing because it's already predestined?
We don't have a choice.
Or it's already in the plan.
Yeah. Well, this is very interesting también, bro. Like, we don't have another choice than to be here. You know? Like, we didn't make that choice.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, we just here, and then we don't have any other choice than to accept it and live on. You know?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Like,
it's crazy when you think about it because, you know, it's great because the probability of us being here was so low, right?
Yeah.
The sperm and egg, whatever.
Yeah.
And then we didn't ask for any of this. We didn't ask to be born or anything.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden we're just here and we're forced into this life that we now have to go on about.
And you can't escape it.
You can't.
You can't escape it. This is very interesting, bro. We just came up with, you know, Joan was saying, if everything was predestined, then it wouldn't make sense for us to be here living out and making our decisions to see what the final end was. But I told him, like, we didn't even make the decision of for us to be here. Like, we just showed up.
Yeah.
God brought us, right, to be. And we don't even have the choice to escape that reality, like to say, I don't want this. We just have to live on with it and live with the consequences.
Yeah.
Let's say even a person who ends their life because they don't accept their life.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know what's on the other side. Something that they might not even be able to escape either.
Yeah.
They have to face the reality. You get what I'm saying?
So since the beginning, we're like prisoners in a way.
In a way, it's very. If you look at it that way, like it's very hard to, I guess, live life that way. You would only find joy if you understand what love is, like what the love of God is.
This is where my mind has wandered, like alone, reading Bible and thinking to myself now. This is not the truth. But I'm not preaching a gospel here or a false gospel. That's not my intention. But me just trying to make sense of things.
Your experience in life.
Yeah, like just looking at it, right? This is my belief. Man was never real. The idea of man, Adam and Eve, all of it is a lie. This is my interpretation of events. In reality, this is, for me, when I look at it like this, it makes sense to me, this way of thinking. Do I know that it's true? No. I go with what the Bible says, but this is just me, like, if this made sense, then this could also be, right? This is me, right? So, God created the angels, right?
Okay.
And they had no choice. Theirs was one of worship, get on your knees, and praise His name. Day in and day out. Until one day comes this one guy, and he's like, you know what? It's better to be rulers in hell than to be servants in heaven. So let me take a third of y'all, right? Let me convince you. And they follow this one guy. And they come, and they say, you've been cast down to the ground, which is here, which is where we're at. Now, me thinking, this idea, thinking like, Lucifer kind of hides the truth. Man was never a thing. In reality, what we are is we're the fallen angels that fell. And this is our last chance for redemption. But we either choose, we accept that we did wrong by betraying the Creator. But like in other words, you, me, at one point we were angels. And we fell with Lucifer, right? Who's the one who has dominion here. And in reality, this is our last chance. But you either, yes, you have free will, because that's how I created you, to be convinced. Now, can you convince yourself to follow the right path? But I'll send my son out there, right? And this is your last chance for redemption. Or are you just going to decide to follow this other thing? And that, for me, me thinking on myself, I was like, mind blown, man. I was like, I could write a movie about this, you know?
You could?
But I mean, I don't know that is the correct way of thinking, or if that's actually what happened, right?
It's an imagination, for sure.
It's an imagination, yeah. It's an imagination.
It's an imagination.
Yeah,
for sure.
man. Because pues, it could very well be, but and because we don't know, the devil, bro. The devil is a lie. The way they talk about it, it's a lie, bro. It's a lie, and this is what scares me, porque even Jesus dice like como, there's gonna be people who come in my name. Yeah. Now, what if the case is that first thing, or that first man that walked this earth, what if that was the faker? Todavía no ha venido nadie at all.
A lot of people believe that.
Todavía no ha venido nadie at all. Y como quiera te dice like, oh, well, there's gonna be somebody who, but don't believe that guy, right? It's like, in order to save my ass, right? Yeah. It's like, you know what? I'll jump in ahead and I'm going to do this now. Yeah. And I'm going to be like, hey, you know what? I'm Jesus, and I'm this and that, and I can do this and that, right? And then, but let me tell you, there's going to be somebody who's going to come, right? And you don't fall for that thing. That one is the liar. I'm the real one. Mm-hmm. What if we don't know, bro? Yeah. You see what I'm saying? We don't know. Y yo me he puesto a pensar. This was one of the things que I had talked to with somebody who was an atheist, and they said Mary is a liar. That's what this person told me. Mm-hmm. He said Mary actually had an affair outside her relationship, right? And in order for them not to stone her ass, right? ella le puso like this is the Son of God, like como. That's what this atheist was telling me. Like, he's like, Danny, come on, you can think. He's like, how can a female get pregnant? I'm just like, what's a miracle of God? Me thinking that it's a miracle of God, right? This is a miracle of God. But he's saying, no, man. He's like, she lied. She raised that son, le pintó, right? Like, this is who you are. You're the son of the living God, ¿verdad? Let's make this great lie. And in reality, the whole thing is a lie. Yeah. And it's just the devil playing tricks. And I'm just like, bro. When he was telling me that, I'm just like, don't mess with me. Don't mess with my head. It's just like, don't mess with me. You know?
The thing, bro, like, you can see it even in the world that we're living in right now. You don't even know what the truth is.
Yeah.
You like.
Bro, this
virus
cup
comes in.
This cup can be a lie, bro. Everything is a lie, bro.
A virus comes out and people are like, no, they're lying about it. They just want to do something else.
Hey, bro, even girls are liars, bro.
We'll see.
Have you seen they put makeup? Have you seen girls without makeup, bro? Have you seen the horrendousness? I mean, I don't want to be an a-hole, pero... Hey, bro, what is that?
Anyway, on a serious note, what I was going to say, bro, es como... There's always going to be the truth, and there's always going to be...
Pretenders.
Well, there's one truth, huh? Let's just say there's one truth and 9 lies. Okay. 10 total.
2 truths and a lie, bro.
Okay, pero I was just making a new rule.
Yeah.
And they're all, when you see all of them, they're all going to have some kind of...
a variation of the story.
Yeah, like someone will sell it to you as if, this is a lie. And this is a lie. And this is all of them. There's a point when you just have to choose one, right? Mm-hmm. And then this one choice is because...
Why choose at all,
of all these signs that have been given. Prophecies and all that is the reason why people have chosen to believe in this. And then when Jesus Christ walked the earth and the people who followed him saw the signs that he made, because he said the signs will follow these people.
But what if the case was that Mary was well versed in the Old Testament, right? And she's like, I know that this thing has to come, right? Like, they're talking about like there's gonna be this one promised one, right? So how can I save myself? Well, I'll just say that this is the promised one. And then so this guy that I was talking to, this was in where I was when I had gotten into trouble. And he says, that story about the woman that's getting stoned, that is the actual truth. That's who she was supposed to be. So that story is there for a reason. I said, I don't know if that's true, man. I don't know. Right? This guy was just telling me this. Like, he's like, como trying to make sense of it. Like, and yo, pues I didn't say like, como this guy is a Satanist, but I just said like, como this is somebody who is challenged.
Well, he has his own interpretation of
who has like maybe some doubts, who's gonna question some things, like, and there's nothing wrong with questioning anything, right? But what if the case is that Mary, right, the mother of Jesus, actually knew, right, the Old Testament, she was well versed in it, right, and she's just like, I can get away with it if I start pushing my son and this is who you are. And just imagine, bro, like como you have a son and you raise him así, and you're just like, no sabes que you're the son of God, like como you're the son of the true living God, and you raise him like that, and you raise him to think that he's like special, right? Yeah. And in reality, we're all special, right? But you start doing this to him at a young age, what is gonna happen when that kid grows up?
No, pues he's gonna believe it.
He's gonna believe it, and he's gonna follow through the whole thing. Like, I don't know, man. It's
or maybe not, bro. Because children, when you think you have the perfect child, and behind your back he's doing something else, bro.
Yeah, it could be. Can't tie, bro. I don't know. It's I hated that conversation because I had never thought about it like that. And so I don't know si hice mal, like como telling you all this, right? Pero I hated that guy.
No, because it's good that you're saying it, bro. Because out there in the world, there's so many people with so many different perspectives to life. They don't live the life that we live. Like they weren't raised the way we were. Yeah. So they, like you said, they have all the right to question everything. And I believe that. I believe everyone has the right to believe whatever they want to believe, and we have no right to judge them or,
Yeah. But does it make you a bad Christian, bro?
To what?
To question, like, to be like, how do I, like, let's say Jesus came. Yeah. Let's say that door opened, and something just come. We all see it, right? Yeah. And it starts saying like, I'm Jesus Christ, right? How do we know? Like, what would you all do, man? Like, I'll be honest. Like, me, that would be my question. I'm like, how do I know you are who you say you are, brother? And then he starts doing things. What would you do?
I don't know.
How do you handle this?
I don't know how it would happen in that situation, but I'm founded in the faith, like, and trust, right? And trusting God. There's so many things, and this is just because of my experience in my own life. I can't say do this because it might not work for you. It's just this is how I what I have experienced, and this is the product of because of my experiences. This is why I believe this, right? So I don't know how I would act, but I feel like if I have put my whole trust and faith in the one true God, and if he himself would appear to me or something else, then I would know. Not because I know everything, but because I believe that the one who knows, he who knows, is in me, guiding me. That's the only explanation that I have to my own problems, right? Yeah. Because I can think the same way as you do, but going back to whether questioning is right or wrong, this is the same thing that I've been preaching since forever. Question everything. Find the real truth. Like, it's good that you question things. Yeah. It's not good that maybe like you do it in a blasphemy way or making fun of people or whatever, but are you really questioning because you want to find out? Then that's good. Because if you say like, I believe that what the Virgin Mary did was a lie, we'll find out. Go to the sites. Go find like historical pieces or scriptures or who wrote the scripture. Why? Like, was it a reputable person that wrote that? And then can you compare it to another piece of record that is by someone else? Who you compare it and say, what does it say? You know, I think that if it was what he said, the truth eventually comes out, bro. Like maybe, I don't know, it's hard back then because we didn't have like DNA tests and stuff like that. But I think that eventually the truth can be found if you look for it. You know?
Yeah. Like it's I don't know if you saw the movie. I think it's God's Not Dead. Okay. The second one, right? Is it that one? No. That's the one where they go to court. The teacher, ¿verdad? She does. Is that one's it? God's Not Dead too. The one gets the whole court thing, right? She says something about God in one of her classes. She ends up getting in trouble. She's with a judge. That's it. That movie.
I think so.
Yeah, but I don't know if it's the first or second one.
I think the first one no es, porque the first one is the one that he's in class.
She's in class, yeah. This is the one with the court, and there's this one guy, he's like a detective, and they bring this detective to come in, but he's like a witness for the, not in her defense, like against her, right, like prosecuting, right, and so. This guy goes up there and they're talking about, well, what is a reputable witness, right? And he's talking like, well, a witness will do this, a reliable witness. He's like, and if like multiple witnesses, if they can collaborate the same story, right? The same details, like como we know, like como you expect, like como certain things to change, like certain things have to change, where we can discredit a witness entirely, but we have so many accounts. He said, this guy, like, I don't remember the movie word for word, but this guy's saying like como in the New Testament, there's
Oh yeah, so there's discrepancies.
4 accounts. He said there is no discrepancy. He said there's just details that are added. He's like, because what one of the writers couldn't finish or couldn't add, the other one filled in the blanks. Yeah. He's like, in all of this, the story still ends the same way. Like, this is like true.
But you would expect that to be so, like, for details to be added and missing.
He's like, if we were to challenge the Bible and say that it's not true, details would be different. Not missing, not where one can add something else, but yes, this was happening, but then this was also said here, right? And it's just like the point of que son 4 gospels. They say like the point is like where one of them is missing something, the other one is adding to that.
I think I remember the movie. The movie was saying like you expect that to happen because even detectives now when they're they're questioning suspects for the story, they expect like if they find that the story is exactly the same on both sides, they know that
that there's a collaborated, like se pusieron de acuerdo.
Like,
so that's what they were trying to, like, it's like a conspiracy. Like, you know what? If we get in trouble, Joan, Tano, ¿verdad? We're going to say we were here, this is what we did, this is what we bought, and this is where we went.
The same
and
thing.
The 3, pero that's not what happened. All of them had, it's the same events.
But he saw it from this side, so he got to see something else.
He got to see something else. This one had a different conversation, so he said, this makes it so that this story is 100% accurate fact. And I was just like, man, that's good, man. So he said, like, it's not a conspiracy. So it wasn't just them. It's the Gospel of John, Peter, Matthew, and Mark, right? Mark is el hermano de Jesus, right?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, Mark is the blood brother de Jesus, but there was 12 disciples.
Yeah.
Right. There's still 8 accounts missing. It isn't that when they were putting the Gospels together, that some of those accounts were missing, but they do have the Gospel of Thomas, right? The Gospel of Thomas is separate. Let me see if I can find it. And the Gospel of Thomas, how do you spell gospel, bro? Gospel of Thomas. This is its separate thing, not included in the Bible. And there's this one thing that this guy says, like it's like como the sayings of Jesus. Mm-hmm. That's all this guy wrote in the gospel. Like it was just like como sayings. There's one que dice, look it's something like the rock. A ver, let me see if I can control F. It's like como lift the stone and you will find algo así. Rock. Nope. Okay, I don't know. I don't know if the word is stone or what. It said to me, you will pick up stones so then come out and burn on the cornerstone. Okay. Jesus says, I am the light that is over all. I am all. I am the all. The all came forth out of me and to me, and all has come. Split a piece of wood, I am there. Lift a stone, and you will find me there.
What does that mean, bro?
Jesus says. So, dicen que like como certain things, like, because they did have these verses, but they didn't include them because they were too... They weren't like part of like the others. It was like como accounts. Like they say like como the purpose of the new...
I know what this means.
The purpose of the New Testament, dijeron, we need to... This validates the Old Testament, and this is let's not include this.
Yeah.
But this is there. What does this mean? Yeah, you read it.
Split a piece of wood and I'm there. That's the cross. And lift a stone and you find me there. This is when they lifted... Well, he wasn't there actually. When they lifted the stone in his tomb, I was going to say that. But yeah, he wasn't there. Well, his clothes was there.
His clothes was there. Pero dicen que like when they went, que there wasn't two angels outside. Dicen como like, why are you looking for the living amongst...
Maybe this just means something. Lift the stone means something else. This brought me to like when they lift the angel, moved the stone, and he was able to.
Mm-hmm. ¿Quién era? The only one that was close de los Pharisees era Nicodemus. He was the one que va y se sienta con Jesus, right? And he's like, that's when Jesus is like, he's talking about the wind. And he's like, como nobody knows where the wind comes. It just comes and goes. He's like, that's how this Holy Spirit works. Like, nobody knows for sure. It just comes and goes. Like, hey, luego es cuando le dice, like, in order to repent or something like that, you must be born again. And Nicodemus is like, how is one born again? And then that's when Jesus is like, también saying like this. Yeah. He's like, and Nicodemus like, bro. He's like, bro, what are you saying? But he was one of the ones like, es que Jesus had a way, bro. Like, when you read the New Testament, like, están los disciples con él y se pone a hablar así. Split a piece of wood and I'm there. Imagine you're walking with him, and luego te dice like, ¿sabes qué, Joan? Just split a piece of wood and I'm there. And you're like literal like.
Where is he?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Pero pues this guy had a way of being, bro. Like, he had a way of talking, like, so, you know, he had such a way of talking que los disciples se quedaban like, what?
No, even the disciples had to be explained sometimes in parables. Like, okay, let me explain to you guys what this means. And then they're like, oh, okay. But it all had a purpose also, bro. The way that he spoke, the Bible says that
he spoke in parables.
Because some people weren't supposed to get it at that time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they weren't supposed to understand what it meant.
Yeah.
It's like, until it happened, then you can compare and say, oh, what he was saying is true. You know?
Yeah. Está interesante, bro. Todo esto, like, it's a
mystery.
The more you question, it's like the more you want to read and the more you want to find, and you're just like, como man, like, como this is crazy, this is bizarre, ¿verdad? Pero Jesus, como quiera, was a God walking among men, right? In man flesh, and he, como quiera, ¿verdad? In that garden, he knew que the choice, right? He said, you know what, it's your will be done, and to make that choice, and this is what I was telling my dad, it's like, when we make that choice, and you say that, porque Jesus says, le dice al rich guy, you want to be like me, give up all your inheritance, give up your name, your titles, todo, pick up your cross and follow me, and you say, okay, I want to follow you, how far are you willing to go? How far are you willing to go like this? That's the question you have to ask yourself. At what point are you going to stop? Yeah. Are you going to stop when you get arrested? I got arrested. Are you going to stop when they start accusing you of something that que nada que ver? I was accused of something I didn't do. Are you going to stop when they sentence you to die and they start torturing you? I didn't get to that point. I think
a lot of people will drop off right there.
The reason why I tell you this is because when that was happening to me, I was associated with this. He decía yo, how far am I willing to go? It was at that point que I was ahí in the courtroom, and I said, I've seen this before. I'm word for word, bro. This was me thinking to myself, and I told my dad, like, hey, if I continue like this, and I challenge this thing, and we know that we left it to 12 disciples, and there's 12 jurors, and they picked Barabbas over the one, like, hey, if I continue in this path, I'm gonna end up in those shoes. Le dije, yo, I don't want this anymore. I don't want it. Right? Now, this was when I was like, I was deep, bro. Like, te fuera caído mal if you had met me at that point. I was so deep into this thing que I wasn't watching TV, I wasn't playing games. Yo no quería nada, I only wanted this. This was my bread and butter. It was at that point que yo dije, no sabes qué? I don't want anything anymore, I give up. I'm done. Pero I look back and I say like, I walked, not to be arrogant or anything, but I walked similar steps, man. Yeah. And it humbles me que I actually believe that if I would have kept on going, I would have ended up somewhere else where I can't even imagine. But it was so scary, bro. And that's the question que I told my dad. I was like, everything happens for a reason. Yeah. And I don't know why that had to happen. Yeah. But one of the things that I did say when I was there, porque I saw visions, and I might have just been hallucinating. Maybe nobody was there. But in one of the conversations that I had, le dije, like I was talking to God, and I said like, como, forgive my entire family and whatever like they have to pay, like como let me pay for it while I'm here. Everybody, even those that haven't done anything, like como let it fall on me. Y me puse a llorar, bro, while I was saying that. I was just like, como just give it to me. Like, ya estoy aquí, yo. Like, nobody, I don't want anybody to have to go through this. I don't want anybody to come here. Let me be the one. Y que aquí muera esta cosa, ya. Once and for all. Let's let go of arrogance. Let's let go of pride, all of that. Todo ese veneno, sácalo, give it to me, and let's just kill it here. Mm-hmm. And so that was one of the things que, pues, así fue.
Maybe it was something that, like, right, because right now I'm just seeing it this way, but it was my idea. Like, showing you, kind of like when Abraham took his child to go sacrifice him in the mountain. Mm-hmm. He had to go all the way there, but right when he was about to sacrifice his child, God provided a way. Yeah, he provided another path. Yeah. So, but he had to go through that. He experienced it, right? Yeah. But then whenever he didn't have to do it, it was like God showing him, you don't have to do this. I already did it for you. Yeah. So don't try to do it on your own. Mm-hmm. So right now that you mentioned that you wanted all your families or whatever to fall on you, even if you ask for that, bro, you can't do it. Yeah. Jesus Christ has already done that. Yeah. You know? So maybe like showing you that, like, this is what Jesus Christ done for you. What you thought
I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying.
What you thought you were going through.
Yeah.
And to be like, you don't have to go through this because
somebody else already did. Somebody else already went there.
And Peter, when he walked with Jesus Christ, he was like, I'll go with you to the ends of the world, you know. And he knew, Jesus told him, like, this is what's going to happen to me. Like, be careful or whatever. And Peter was like, no, that'll never happen. I won't let him do this to you. Yeah. And when they caught him, he was the first one to deny. Like, no, I don't know him.
Yo me siento mal, bro, because pues the people who were involved in this thing, like, and I say like, como this story, the story of Jesus and Peter and everybody involved, the doubting Thomas, ¿verdad? This keeps repeating today. Right now, I have doubts. I would be considered doubting Thomas, right? And you would be considered Peter and everybody, ¿verdad? Who you decide, ¿verdad? Who plays these parts, your betrayer. There's always a Judas in there. The people who were involved with what happened to me, there was people I feel bad, like, como they probably said the same thing. Like, some of they were co-workers. They probably said, like, como, hey, Danny's on the right path. Like, this is exciting. He's reading. He's changing. Like, they saw a change come about me, bro, real quick. And some of them were questioning. They're like, how? If he just started reading, how can this be happening in the Yopos? Because I wasn't just reading, like, a little bit, bro. I was taking big bites out of, like, if you were like, consider an apple, I was, like, biting more than I could chew. And I was just, like, excited. I was like, man, this is awesome. Like, como yo estaba bien excited, bro. I was just, like, I look forward que se acabara mi shift and to come home, ¿verdad? And I had my Bible ready. And I'm just like, this is where I left off. This is where I'm going to start reading, ¿verdad? And so, ¿verdad? If I consider, not to be arrogant ni nada, but if I say, like, como I walk these kind of paths, I picked up the cross and I followed Jesus, right? Then that means that somebody played the part of Peter. Somebody played the part of Judas, ¿verdad? Somebody played... And that's where I'm just like, como, I can tell you this. Those people who were involved, they ended up paying some way or another. And they ended up paying pretty bad, bro. And that's not to say like, como que I have like a curse or like I have powers. Pero I heard about how le tocó a cierta gente. And I say like, not that they deserve it. Pero I think it's because we were walking with something that shouldn't have been messed with at all. And that's what I'm trying to tell you. Yeah. Is that how far are you willing to go with this? Mm-hmm. Like, are you willing to be accused, ¿verdad? To go all the way, ¿verdad? To get, they hang you, kill you, ¿verdad? And then what happens when you come back? What then? What then, bro? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, como, how far does this go? If you actually, porque Jesus le dice a that rich man, like, pick up your cross and follow me. Follows him, right? Does that person, because if you follow Jesus, then se supone que you live forever. That's what he tells you. Then you would, right? I don't think you necessarily have to go through hell, but you, through Jesus, could conquer death and the grave también. People would panic, man. Wouldn't that incentivize people to follow this? If you wanted to. Not that the goal is to live forever, but to not burn forever, right? Compared to the alternative. People say like, como, no, but you just want to live forever. Which is part of the fear of this life. Is like, como, not acknowledging que our times, aquí sitting down here, our times are, it's running out. Mm-hmm. We're dying, just as we're discussing here. Our time is running, we're starting to die. We don't acknowledge that death is a universal fact, right? But wouldn't it incentivize, isn't like, como, you think that you would live forever? Is that so wrong as opposed to the alternative of burning forever? Like, people isn't like, como, it's arrogant to think that you would live forever, and it is, it's ignorant, pero they don't ask why you think that. Mm-hmm. Like, como me, it's not that I want to live forever, it's that I don't want to burn forever. That's my, right? Mm-hmm. I don't want to burn forever, so I'll take whatever else is being offered, you know? Mm-hmm. So is that the people who, I don't know if other people think like that, man. Yeah. But I'm speaking for myself. I don't know if I can talk to somebody else and they're like, no, pues I want to live forever, but I want to be with Jesus y todo. For me, it's like, como me, I don't want to be burning, you know?
Okay, I get what you're saying. So, like, I think there's a lot of people that think that way. Like,
my motivation is para no quemarme, bro, in other words.
I want to say that in the beginning, when I was little, it was out of fear also. Like, I don't want...
I'm scared to death. Can you imagine?
Yeah, I'm scared. It's scary. It's scary. I don't even think it should be taught to kids ever.
It's a bizarre...
It's a truth that...
It's a torturous concept.
It's a truth that Christians believe, right? That hell exists, which I believe as well. But in my journey, it switched from being afraid, that's why choosing this, and then learning what life is actually about, and now doing it because of that, not because of being, not afraid.
Yeah. Like doing it for for love, or
like understanding God's purpose and accepting it and saying like that's what I want, you know. You know what I'm saying? And not being afraid of hell because you know that it wasn't created for you. There's no way. It's not possible.
Pues I mean, like,
you know what I'm saying?
Like, si te quemas el dedo, bro, te lleva la torre, bro. Like,
I was very afraid when I was a kid.
Duele un chingo, bro. Like, te quemas, like, just burning your thumb, like, and you're just like, it hurts, it sucks. Like, even like, como once the burning is done, you still feel the.
No, bro, just turn on like the stove. If you have the gas ones, and just put your hand on top.
¿Cuánto aguantas?
Far away, no aguantas nada.
No aguantas nada, bro. Now imagine your whole body, and it's not fire así, it's a
not
lake.
Far away.
It's a lake of fire, bro. You're swimming in that shit, bro. And you don't die. It's not like, oh, I can just burn and die. No. It's like you're being regenerated as this, and it's forever. Yeah. It's not for a year. It's not for 10 minutes. It's forever. Just like that concept of zero, okay, we can understand. You cannot understand also forever. You don't know what that is. Forever, bro. Forever. Do you hear what I'm saying here?
Forever.
It's forever, bro.
Forever and ever.
Okay. You don't see your family anymore. You don't see your wife anymore. You don't see your kids anymore. You're there in a lake of fire forever. That is crazy.
It's terrifying, bro. It's scary. That's scary.
That's crazy,
I remember, bro, that when I was a teenager, and this is a part of why I decided to study more into the Bible and find out what it means, because a lot of things that I couldn't understand and what led me to believe what I believe now about God's grace, right? When I was a teenager and going to church, I would go to church on weekends, and then like throughout the week, I'll try to do as good as I can, but I just I'll mess up, right? And I would always get taught, and they talked about heaven and talked about hell and all that stuff, and I was scared.
I was
scared to death, so I was trying to make good choices.
Sí.
And the one time they showed us a disc, supposedly, I don't even think it's real now.
Yeah.
I don't even, to be honest, I don't believe it's a real disc. They showed it to us, and supposedly it was like a testimony of someone who listened to hell or the sounds that were made in hell or something. It was so scary, bro. But I was so scared. I tried to live right, and then I kept up messing up. And I got that disc, bro, and I put it in my truck. And I was like, I'm going to listen to this.
Every time, like a gospel? Okay,
no, bro. Era like a testimony about someone who went to hell and saw what they saw there. And they heard
somebody who died and came back to life or something?
Yeah, something like that. I don't even know if it's real anymore. But I put it on my truck because I wanted to scare myself so much that I wouldn't do it again, you know?
Yeah.
But even that wouldn't work, bro. I was scared to death, and I still mess up.
But it's a motivating thing, bro. Like, you're not going to go kill somebody because you know what can happen to you.
Oh, yeah.
You know the punishment.
Yeah.
Now, aquí the question is, like, I'm the kind of person que, like, cuando a mí me va bien, yo me siento mal. Like, cuando a mí me está yendo bien, like, I wish that other people también les fue, like, I'm like, I wish that these people también les fuera bien a ellos. Like, I start thinking about other people. Now, cuando algo le pasa mal a alguien, like, one of my family members, like, my parents or my siblings, I'm just like, como me siento mal también. I'm like, I wish that the stupidest things, bro. Like, se flató la llanta or chocaron or anything major, right? I'm like, I wish that hadn't happened. Now, you're saying like, como like a motivating factor is to not burn forever, and forever is forever, bro. I don't want, like, como yo cuando me pongo a pensar, like, you don't want your family members to burn burn forever, bro. Well, so what are we being called to do here? Yeah. What is it? If this isn't part of the mission, if people te dicen like como, "Nambe, son historias, no existe eso." No, this you don't understand. Yeah. The Bible dice que this is a real thing. Well, and so yeah, it's like como, what these other people, and how can we, do you understand what I'm trying to say? Yeah, how can we help keep them and what if you fail? No, what if you do everything you possibly can and you fail? I'm not going to be happy, bro. If I end up in heaven, bro, right? Not saying that I will. But if I do, and the people that I wanted to help don't, I don't want to be up there. I'm like, pues what about them? Yeah. You know what I mean? It's not that it's not, but it's not fair, bro. Yeah. It's like, I understand that they did what they did, pero I tried to help them. And I don't know if guilt follows you to heaven así, or if you're even capable of thinking for yourself anymore. Pero I know I wouldn't want to be, if my parents aren't there and my sister and my little brother aren't there, I don't want to be there either. I want to be, not that it's more important to be with them, but I would want us to be together, right? I don't know. I don't know. What do you think about that?
This is interesting. I thought about that also. The way I cope with this, bro, is, and to what you were saying, the Bible even says that the bigger way is the wrong way, right? Like,
like the path of the righteous is narrow, and the one the other is like it's wider. Yeah. People go through that one. Yeah.
So more people are going through there.
Yeah. The path of least
even
resistance.
If you try whatever you do, there's always going to be more people going there than not. That's what the Bible says. But I like to believe that I don't understand the reality of like what's going to happen. Yeah, we know the facts and what the Bible says and what they preach to us, right? But I like to think in my mind that I don't really comprehend the way that it's gonna go down at the end. So I just be like, maybe it's not the way that I think it is. So we'll just wait and see what happens, and trust. Like you trust God with faith right now, right? For everything that you do. I don't know, like, tomorrow how I'm going to do it. I can't see in the future, but I believe that in God that He's going to help me to manage whatever comes tomorrow. Yeah. The same way I believe, like, I know that the Bible says that there's a hell, and people who do bad things or whatever are going to go there, or at least the way that I believe now is people who don't accept Jesus Christ. Or the way I believe now is that only people who know Jesus Christ personally and accept Him are the ones who will be entered into heaven, right? Everyone else won't. Yeah. Maybe the way that I cope with it is I believe, because the Bible says that people are going to be burning forever in hell, but maybe the interpretation to that is different. And I just have faith in God that when the time comes, either I understand the interpretation the way it's supposed to be, or, like you said, like I won't be conscious of it. I won't know what's going on.
Yeah.
You know? But I'll find peace that whatever it is, God knows.
Yeah.
And everything will turn out fine. I don't know if I'm making any sense, bro, because I thought about it too, and it's scary and it's sad, and it's like, no matter where you look at it from, you're gonna lose, because like you said, you can't save everyone, and it's written already that it's not gonna be possible. So if you look at it that way, and I've thought about it this way also, like, but I learned, and there's two things, like, I've said to God, like, why would you do that, right? Like, if I was God, I wouldn't do that, right? But who am I to question God?
Yeah.
What do I know? I'm just a person, you know? So I've learned not to question someone as high as God is, like, he's smarter than I am, and all that, like, who am I to question what is or what isn't?
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say?
Say.
I don't know, bro.
Like what you're saying is like, como, there's no point of when worrying about the future.
We have no control.
Because you have, it's
and and this might sound a little bit selfish, like, every mind is their own world. Like, as long as I chose what I chose, and I believe in my own hope and what's gonna happen, then at least I'm taken care of, right? This is what I believe. I'm not sure, right? That's what I believe. But I can't control what you are gonna do or what you're gonna do. Even if I explain to you and I'm here and I'm telling you every day. At the end, I don't know what you're gonna decide or what you're gonna do, right?
Yeah.
So it's worthless me trying to worry about it.
But I think the whole thing is as easy as just admitting that Jesus is the Lord and Savior, and that you're not worthy, and that you just have to bathe in His blood and accept the gift, and just that it's as easy as that. But what is that?
For me, bro, after so many years, right, of experience that I've experienced in my life, for me, it is as easy as changing your understanding, like finally getting something, learning something new, and accepting it.
Yeah.
It might seem like a simple thing, but that little thing, if you truly learn it and you truly accept it, it changes your whole life and who you are, bro. Because now every decision that you make is based off that you learn. Like, let's say, with this virus, right? A long time ago, people didn't know that what caused viruses to, like, spread, right? And then they learned, you know what, you have to wash your hands, and with running water, not just with so with running water, so it could wash off all the germs and all that. So once we learned that, we act different because of that knowledge, right? So I believe that once you receive the knowledge of what the gift that God gave us life, and we messed up at the garden and all that, whatever. But Jesus Christ offered us a redemption, and all we had to do is trust in Him that He did everything, and then but actually accept who we are. Like, the whole story is, we're men, and we sinned, and we're sinful. Like, not just that we sinned. Yeah. We're sinful. Sin lives within.
We're sinning today. Tomorrow we will sin also.
We make mistakes. Yeah. We're as long as we realize who we are, and we put our trust in someone higher, someone that we know that is correct, then that's a whole concept. So it's as easy as understanding it and living it out. But it's much more deeper than that. Like, you can't just say, like, oh, you just have to learn and understand this, because anyone's like, oh, but I know what you're saying and I understand and I believe it, but it's like it gets way more complicated and deeper when it's actually like accepting in a personal level. I don't know how to explain it, bro, because I learned, like, they've been teaching me Christianity since I was a kid, but I just remember at one point when I made a decision, like, deep in me, like, in my soul. I don't know how to explain it. Like, I'm gonna believe this, like, understand this, and rule out everything else, because this is what I believe now. I don't know how to explain it, bro.
Cuando es la story de que there's like workers are hired, and there was workers who were already there, and then somebody comes in later, but a group of workers comes later, and they get paid first compared to the one, and this one's like the first will be last and the last will be first. What do you get from that? What is the What is the meaning of that?
What
do you get from that?
So, there's people in church who believe that because they've served for 30 years, 50 years, and they've tried to do things right every single day, and that's work that they've put into, they see it as work.
Sí.
And they believe the reward, right? God is paying you a certain amount of money. The gift of eternity, as you said, forever. You can't measure it. You can't understand it. It's the same measure. So whether you have a day in Christianity and you have 100 years, if you both die today, you're going to receive the same payment.
Yeah.
So it's kind of dumb to say, I'm going to get more reward than this guy because I did 6 prayers a day instead of 5, or because I helped out 6 people today instead of 4.
You know, it's not off of works and stuff.
Yeah, I think that's what it means.
Yeah, salvation based off of works.
Yeah.
The other way I see it is like the last, like when you think of like la person que la regó more, not that they're forgiven, pero they're the ones that, because they realize que they're in the wrong, like la han regado tanto, and they say like como they're the ones that start looking for God more. It's like I need to find something to correct myself. So compared to somebody that isn't like it's already there. Well, this one has like a speed, ¿verdad? Because it's like I need you, I need help, you know, and that's what I mean, like you said, like como salvation based on works también, pero it could also be.
It makes sense because one of the verses también, Jesus is sitting at the table as someone who invited him for dinner, and there's this what do they call it? Like a harlot, or at his feet, weeping and cleaning his feet with her hair.
Sí.
And the guy is judging him, was like, if he only knew what kind of woman she is. And then he hears his thoughts and he's like, you know, who do you think is going to be more thankful? The person. He gives him a story like, this person owes this much to someone, and this person owes a lot more to the same person. And then the guy comes and forgives both of their debts. Who do you think is going to be more thankful? Who's going to love him more? And he said, no, was the guy that got forgiven more. Yeah. And then he starts saying, well, that this is why she's here, you know, because even though she is what you think she is of her, you know, judging her, she's been forgiven just as much as you, but just because your sins aren't as good as her, she's more thankful, you know. It's kind of to like what you're saying.
And when God destroys Sodom and Gomorrah, well, it's Sodom, right? Está Abraham ahí con él, and I think his sobrino was there. ¿Cómo se llama? Lot. That's his name. And his wife. And he's like, como pleading with God. And he said, well, what if there's 50 good men in there? Yeah. Like, como, surely, but like, you're just God. And it's like, como, well, if there's 50 good people in there, I'll spare the whole city. And he brings it down to 1. And he's like, well, what about 1? What if there's 1 good person in there? Surely, ¿verdad? You wouldn't destroy it. They said, otra vez, if there's 1 good person in there, I won't destroy the city. But the city ends up getting destroyed como quiera. So that means que even Lot,
he wasn't good.
Even Lot
wasn't good, but his life got spared because of Abraham. And they tell him, the angels told him, like, we're taking you out because God favors Abraham. And they take him out. But even if he was good, he gets taken out of the city. So then the city gets destroyed, even though he was already out.
He's the one that ends up getting spared. They listen, like, not to look back, where, like, and this is where, like, como people, they say, like, como, some stories y todo, and she turns into a pillar of salt, and the other way I see that is like como somebody who kept looking to the past and just couldn't get out of the, because that's not that that's a sin, but it's a waste of time to be dwelling on the past, and when you do that, you get into a guilt. It's like, if only I had done this, if only I had done that, and what does that do? Because it just destroys a person, and you start tearing, so you become a pillar of salt, and de esa manera. Yo me acuerdo, bro, que cuando estaba yo when I was behind bars, les decía, pues, I started referring to God as my father. Les decía, no, pues, mi padre, ¿verdad? And my dad, and this and that. Because I was like, pues, the Bible says that he's the father, like. And so I was like, como, les dije yo ahí una vez a los carceleros, dije, de tanto que lloró mi padre, las aguas se hicieron saladas. y se sacaron de onda, they're like, como, la torre, and I'm just like, sí, culpa que nunca nos pudimos corregir. I was just like, que me tienen aquí. Se sentían mal, bro. It came to a point que ya ni me querían tocar. They were just like, como, no, pues, and it was crazy, bro, because when they did the transfer of taking me to San Antonio, everybody had a Bible, bro. That was what was weird. It was like, como, like, I don't know. And this is what I'm talking about. I don't know if it's just like I said, like you're the instrument and not the hand, and everything has a purpose. Where it's like this had to happen because somebody in there, maybe somebody behind bars or somebody else. I don't know if the whole thing was fake or if it was. For me, it was very real.
Yeah.
Now I don't know if it was that somebody needed to hear the message, somebody needed to hear something, even if it was a sentence, a quick little prayer, lo que sea. Somebody in there needed it, and I was the one who was sent.
Yeah.
And dicen que there's like the worst prayer in the Bible is the one that you can pray yourself. Dicen like como is the one that says, como es? And then I heard the voice of the Lord saying, "Whom shall I send? And who will go for us?" And he says, "Send me." Dicen que like if you pray that, que like you fall into something que you wish you hadn't. So like I don't know if that's true, pero en ese tiempo I kept saying that like como I don't know what the plan is. But I heard the voice of the Lord saying, "Whom shall I send? Who will go for us? And here am I. Send me." And I'm just like, so I started looking at it like that, like como yo estoy aquí, no porque yo quiero estar aquí, pero because alguien me quiere aquí. Yeah. Alguien necesita que yo esté aquí. So está interesante. Joan, what do you think, sir? What any comments?
I just came back, bro.
Anything that we've talked about, bro. What do you think? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, but I want to go back because I didn't have time to say something about not the religion part, but going back to like who we're saying about like the people with adrenaline.
Okay.
And all that.
Yeah.
This is my take on it. I believe that we as humans are more capable than what we are, and that our brain puts like limiters on like our strength, our speed, stuff like that. Not so because, you know, we're designed to be less than what we can, but I think it was more towards like if we're our body goes at around 10% of what we can do, like 10% of our strength, 10% of our speed. If our body is constantly running on 100%, that would just like waste our body. Okay. Because we're going at 100% all the time, pushing our limits day in, day out. So I think that our brain sets this limiters, you know, to make us last longer. But in times where, like say for that old lady that you were saying, in times of dire stress, maybe there's like some chemical reaction in our brain or something that sets off this limiters that allows us to exceed our strength, speed, or whatever, what have you.
Right, because we release like adrenaline at that point, right?
Yeah. But I don't know, because we don't know because right now they're like spontaneous miracles or what have you. But I believe there might be like some sort of formula in the chemicals that our body produces that, under the right circumstances, unlocks our potential to go beyond the 10% or 20% or 50% that we normally have. Yeah. And I believe that if we can find a way to repeat that process, so not just miracles, we can find ways to make it useful. Like say there's like a special squadron or force in the United States or the city or state that it was like something very dangerous or something. They, you know, inject themselves with a certain chemical combination or whatever that unlocks their potential that exceeds their chances of saving the people or catching the bad guys, stuff like that. I feel like if there's a way to recreate that process, I don't know, it might be useful. But of course, there are going to be risks and stuff because they're limiters for a reason. Yeah. But I guess it's more like choosing when or not to use it and to use it effectively. If we can find a way to do that, I feel like it could be beneficial to the world and to other people. And that's what I was trying to think, but I didn't have a chance to say it.
During that, when we were discussing that, the point of like como you're saying like como Jesus saves, ¿verdad? We say like como Jesus saves. Like we were saying like como we feel bad that we can't take everybody where we're going. Do you think that Jesus feels the same way? Que he like como I did this for you. Yeah. And like como me siento like, do you think he like se siente mal que you
responsible?
You keep fucking up, you know, and does he feel bad? Okay, he can't do it. He tries everything he can to reach you, but you just don't accept it. Do you think he has that feeling, or is it just like, no, yo te la dejé así, tú quieres, tú quieres?
No.
Or do you think he's involved and he's like, oh, I wish you would do this. Yeah. Why can't you do this? I've done this for you.
I think that he does, bro, because if he didn't have that kind of heart, he wouldn't have come in the first place. Like, you guys did wrong.
On your own.
No, on your own.
Yeah.
I think that
that takes it to like what Joan was saying, que like if you had that one person here, and you couldn't, like, let's say like you could save somebody, but you get there late, you would feel guilty, no? If like, let's say a fire broke out, and like you try the best to save everybody, but you miss one little kid.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter how many you would save.
He dies, right? But yeah, you saved a lot of people, pero como quiera, you didn't save that one. This is where like como that song comes in, the leaves the 99.
Yeah.
You didn't save that one.
Yeah.
Yo no me sintiera bien, bro. I'd be like, como, yeah, like you could tell me like, Danny, pero you saved so many lives.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I didn't save that one, and I don't feel good about it.
Yeah.
I would be in therapy. My mind would go off. I'd be an alcoholic. I don't know if that's what would happen. I'm saying, like, hypothetically,
you wouldn't be able to let it go.
See, I wouldn't let it go, bro. Do you think that Jesus has that? Of course. También that feeling.
Of course, bro. I mean, I think.
Yo me siento mal, bro.
That's actually
like
what you're feeling. What you're feeling right now, and I've. ¿Cómo te diré? This is the feeling that people get whenever they're called to be like, ¿cómo se les llama los people who travel like to the other side of the world just to minister to people, like to preach them?
Oh, like ministers or something?
Yeah,
preachers?
like ministers or whatever.
Yeah.
This is the kind of feeling they get, and they say that this is the Holy Spirit of God in them, trying to help them feel what God feels Himself, so that they're able to produce these kinds of actions, like go and these people they could be here in the United States living like comfortably, and they're out there in the wilds with no means to like just off of like what people offer them to like sleep in their homes. There's people who are poor or whatever, but they're saving lives. But they have this feeling inside of them that, you know what, I can't just live my own life. I have to worry about those other people. It's not for everyone, bro, to have this calling or that calling that they're worried about others. Not just yourself. The thing with me is like, I've been in that position where I'm like, what can I do? Ever since I was a little kid, like I've envisioned myself like, how can I help people? I envisioned myself like on a stage trying to preach to people to help them understand what I believe. And I would believe that if they could understand that would be enough. But even though you can't save all of them, whoever takes the message. And then there's one part of the Bible where Jesus says like, mi gente perece por falta de entendimiento. So it goes back to what I was saying. It's only understanding. You just have to understand one thing, you know. Yeah. My people are perishing because they lack understanding. Something like the translation. Pero I believe that you get this feeling from God, from the Spirit of God, of like feeling bad for other people. And that's why you would just go out there and preach them and tell them that you love them, that Jesus loves them. That there's a way. It's not for everyone. Like I was saying, like if I have gotten away from something like that, is because like I don't feel like I'm ready, and it's on God's time. And I've always told like, it's your time. It's not whenever I want to do it or whatever. But yeah, I get what you're saying. Like I do believe that Jesus feels the same way, and that's why people go out of the way. And some people are people like thinking, oh, these guys are crazy. Like they never stop talking to me about Jesus. Like the reason they're doing it is because the inside they're feeling like you're already.
Like you're
died, you're already dead, and they're trying to help you. But you know, that's why you have to understand everyone. Like not just judge people who are like don't want to believe in God. That's their choice. But also people who like come to you and try to preach to you whatever they want to preach to you is because they feel a certain type of way that they have to do this. They're not trying to do this like to try to convince you or lie to you or whatever. It's just because they feel the need to share it with other people.
I know those. I don't know, when I was in STC, remember that there was like these people who would come and give out little Bibles in the schools también, and that stopped. Yeah. There was a time like the teachers like Mr. Rodriguez in the pharmacy tech program. I remember they went allá and the teacher, he's like, I don't know why the hell they come
because
here.
It's viewed wrong. Like if someone comes up to you like, oh, they're bothering me, they're taking my time. That's something that I would feel bad too. Like I don't like going up to people because I'm like, I respect their boundaries, you know. But if I do come up to people, the first question is like, can I just borrow like 1 minute of your time if it's okay with it? If they say yes, then yeah, I'll start talking, you know, about whatever it is. But you have to ask for their permission for their time because their time is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But to what you were saying about the adrenaline stuff, I was gonna say that you said that our brains are the ones that limit us.
Yeah.
And I believe the same way, but a little bit differently. Our brains limit us in the way that we can't believe that something is possible. But the moment that you believe that it's possible, then your brain will start working in a certain way
to achieve that goal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Manifesting.
Like I'm not saying that maybe be like in superpower adrenaline mode all day, but I do believe that our bodies are capable of more and our minds are capable of more than what we normally do
on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah, but if we could only reach like higher potential, if we only have to believe first, and this is something that not just religiously that you have to believe, like because I've heard so many people who are talking como vamos a decir, like successful people. You see their interviews and whatever, and they always mention like you have to have a certain mindset to get to where you want to go. Whatever it is that you want to achieve, like your dreams or goals, you have to believe that you can do it, and then like just be constant. And they say like you can do anything you set your mind to. Have you heard that saying, right? Yeah. And you can do anything you set your mind. So like if you work hard enough for it, and you want it hard enough, and you believe that it's possible, like you'll make it happen.
Yeah. You think discipline plays a big role in that? You think discipline is the key to everything? And a lot of people, I usually look at like motivational videos about the self-discipline. Yeah. You think self-discipline is like once you get going, it's like a wildfire. Yeah. And you start with simple stuff. Like I'm gonna put my shoes in the closet instead of leaving them in the middle of the living room. And you start smoshing every day. And you're there and you know what, let me put my shoes in there. And then you start jumping to something else. Now I'm gonna start doing this. And I'm going to start doing that. And it's self-discipline. And it starts building character. And starts building a different kind of man. Yeah. Where like other people start saying, what's going on with that guy? Like, I want what that guy is doing. And you start with, not that reading the Bible would be necessary. But eventually it does come to that. Because discipline is... Jesus was disciplined, bro. Yeah. When he... Dicen que like when he was in the tomb, he took the time to fold... Lo que tenía puesto, he folded it. He could have just been así, dejar los tenis ahí. No, he folded it nice and neat, and then he took off. Yeah. So dicen que like como discipline is like the main thing, and it's hard to get there.
It's really hard.
Like, dicen like como you put an alarm, snooze, 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 snooze. But then eventually, when you start getting into discipline, you get to a point where it's like that alarm. You wake up before the alarm even starts, bro. Once you get, and that's when you know that you're in the right path. Yeah. Okay, like, not that that's a path that you should take, but it's a good path to be on. Yeah. And it leads to nothing but success. Where, like, como discipline is the foundation of success, man.
That's key.
Isn't like, como, like, ahora one of the substitute teachers was saying, like, como, not everybody can be a doctor. Yeah. Not everybody can be an engineer because they're not born with privilege. And I said, you know, you're wrong. Yeah. Like, como, it's not about that, it's about discipline. I don't care, like, you can come and give me some sob story. Get it away from me. Yeah. No, are you disciplined? How bad do you want it? Are you going to be disciplined to keep up keeping up that attitude, that mindset of, it's an attitude change. It's a shift, bro. And people, when you start becoming that person, people it starts spreading. Yeah. Other people around you también, they're like, I wanna, even in the workplace, bro. Yeah. If somebody comes in, where you all are at in a pharmacy, and somebody's like, hey, let's do this, let's do that. All this, not just talking, but actually doing it, right? And motivating, and it's like, oh man, how is this guy on the phone? He's here, he's there, he's getting it done. This one person, and you're just like, oh man, I want to be like this. Like, this guy, this girl, whoever it is, they're making something happen, trying to make a difference here. And I want to be part of that. I want to be part of that success. Yeah. And that person that goes on, becomes something better, and so do you with that, because eventually you latch onto that. And it just, there's people who la cagan, bro. Yeah. There's people who see like somebody like that and they're just like, no, es un pendejo, is it right? Yeah. There's people who, I don't know why, man.
It's easier to get bad habits than good habits, you know?
And it's to start breaking all the bad shit that you're doing, to get on the right path. Pero discipline is, there used to be a time, bro, que yo me levantaba in the morning, I atendía la cama, I put the colcha back, fold it. I don't even do that, bro.
Well, listen to this, it's very interesting. Okay, I've heard say como it's easier to bring someone down than to lift them up. Like imagine you standing on top of this table and I'm in the bottom and you're trying to help me up. It's easier for me to pull you down than for you to help me up to where you are. Yeah.
There's a song que dice it's Iron Maiden. We should have done we don't have time to do video reaction, pero there's a verse in one of the lyrics. Y dice like como I walk the line on that silver blade. Y yo me pongo a pensar like como the way of the righteous path, the way that's like just like you're saying. I imagine like como a fine razor, right? And your feet are gonna start bleeding. The more steps you take, the wolves are here abajo and they can taste the
blood.
And they want you to. They want you. They're ravenous. They want you to come down. Pero is your choice whether it hurts. It's painful whether your feet are bleeding, you're getting cut. If you can imagine like a razor suspended in the air. Do you have the strength to take another step?
I feel, bro, and this is gonna go back to the free will thing. Like sometimes the way that I act in my life, bro, is not because I want to act that way. It's because I don't have a choice.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. Like I'm not gonna say I make mistakes, bro.
Yeah.
I realize that, bro. I make my own decisions, and sometimes I make bad decisions and I failed, and I'm a human being.
Yeah.
Right. That's my excuse there again. But I want to say that for a lot of times. And this is like new, not new like recently, but like a few years back. Like I said, when I'm trying to get closer to God, most of the times when something's happening, bro. Like I don't know how to explain it. Como something happens and I would react a certain way. Like let's say maybe I would get mad and I'll start saying curse words or whatever. Something is going on, bro, and I'm reacting completely out of character, bro. Like I
some
shut
rage.
my mouth.
Some rage kicks in.
Yeah, I can't say anything.
You lose in Call of Duty and you throw the controller. You ever done that? You throw a controller to the wall. Se quebra el pedo.
You do.
You never done that, bro?
No.
Like playing a game and I was like, when you just get fast or have you ever been at any rage?
I've gotten
asusta, bro. You're like,
I've gotten rage, not in the game, but I've gotten to points where I've gotten like in fights with people, not like physical fights, but like arguments with people. Porque I just lose it, and then I end up apologizing. There's a few times that's happened to me. That's when I want to say the real me comes out. That's when I want to say like that's me. That's not God or whatever. And I realize that. But as a lot of times in my life, like I want to say I don't know, like I don't have control of my own body, and it's like what I'm doing is not me. It's like it's God doing it through me. Like an example, like let's say something is going on right now, and I could easily just get mad and say a bad word or whatever.
Yeah.
And I can't. Like I just can't. For some reason, like I can't do it.
Yeah.
Even though I want to.
Yeah.
Like in my mind, like I'm thinking about what I would be doing at that moment, but I just like I can't act on it. And it's not just like every once in a while, like through my day, bro. Like the way that I even at work, like the way I perform my work. It doesn't matter what anyone thinks about me, like my coworkers, my bosses, maybe customers or whatever. I don't care what they think about me, bro. It's like what I'm doing is strictly like something inside of me is doing this. It's God. It's just I'm doing it for God. Like, I don't know if I can explain.
Yeah, like you're there because
not just at work, like even at home, like certain things happen that maybe would cause me to get upset or whatever, and I just keep acting like normal, like joyful or whatever. When it would have been something that would have caused me to get sad or upset. You know what I'm saying?
Like when you have like control, okay.
No, like not control. Like it's not like I'm thankful for.
Oh, like you're saying like como like something took over where like the
took
old
over
you
me.
would have snapped.
Yeah.
Okay.
And like even with my wife, and I believe like I've been a better husband to my wife porque let's say I would get offended real quick. As men, we don't want a woman telling us what to do or whatever.
Yeah.
So when my wife would say
nagging with
whatever, I'd be like, oh, this whatever, make a big deal about it. And I was like, inside of me, like I want to get mad and stuff, but then inside of me is like something reminding me, like that's your wife, the woman you chose, you love, you met to marry. So, and then a totally a different person, bro, out of character. Like I want to say, in my experience, like I want to say because I've been the person when I was younger that just completely did everything that naturally came from me. I would act on it, like I would do that, you know. And now I can't.
Yeah.
Not because I want to, but because I just can't.
You can't or you won't.
I don't know.
Maybe
it is that I won't. Maybe
it catches you by surprise.
Maybe it is that I just have so much self-control that I don't. But in my mind is like, why don't I just? I just can't. If I do, so I do it because I've done it. Because I've done it. Like I'll feel really bad about it.
That's
like,
bizarre, bro. Man. You even ask like, "Oh man, why didn't I snap at this?" Wow, bro. Wow, you know, you have. It's just like, I mean, it depends. Like you can cross me, like you want that.
Yeah.
But if you keep pushing and you push the right buttons, I'm gonna snap.
Yeah.
And when I snap, I become something.
And I'm not saying like that is this 100% of the time because I have you know. ¿Cómo te diré?
Snap
and make mistakes or whatever. But for the most part, it's como no. Like one of the things when you know me, you know I use that curse words.
Yeah,
at least like,
you don't. Yeah.
Like if I do maybe once in a while, like something
I
go leve, like really low.
Like you never even say mierda, bro.
I used to say like the worst kind of bad words all the time, bro. That was me.
Yeah.
But then when I stopped, like I had been when I was younger, like I had been wanting to stop. Yeah. And I couldn't, bro, because I hung out with people and like I just couldn't. But then there just came a time when I couldn't say them anymore, bro. Like I was hanging out with people and I was trying to make a joke.
Yeah.
And I started noticing that people weren't like hanging out with me as much because I was maybe boring or just wasn't the same as they were. But I couldn't bring like even in my mind I was like, I know that this person like if it was before like. This person would like me, like who would like to have a conversation with me because I know how to have a conversation with this person. But now, since I can't say these words, like I have like a very dumb, dull conversation. I can't make it fun, you know? Like comedians. Comedians will make it like a very interesting and funny story because they're saying bad words like every sentence.
Yeah.
And I felt like, man, I wonder like because of this way that I'm living now, I wonder how many opportunities I'm letting go like because of certain relationships that I could have with certain people. Yeah.
The bad relationships.
Well, yeah. But then at the same time, I was feeling bad for thinking that because, like, pues, God wants it that way and God's way is better.
No, but fíjate, bro, like, como we are able to discuss this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like, como if you had never met me or Joan or anybody, you wouldn't have this conversation with anybody, right?
Yeah, no.
So it's like, and you can't just have these conversations with anybody.
Yeah.
Like, you can go talk to somebody and
they wouldn't understand.
There's people like, listen, like, I think it's like, the tongue is like the suit and tie of a person, like what you say, so like te puedes expresar, you know, and like si se ve mal, like como saying bad words, it's like como you're that kind of like de cierta manera right now.
Like in a professional setting, you're right away.
Once que te la empieces a llevar, but once you get comfortable with that, you're able to talk about deep shit, and just like I said, like deep shit, like it's because we are. It's not just como te diré, like gossip stuff.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
This is like como some deep philosophical thought that you can't just have con el que anda cagando palo, you know. Like that person just wants to talk about like, hey, yo fui en New Year's y estaba tirando con mi pistola, vato, you know. And you're just like como you're like, what? Exactly. You're like como this guy, you know.
Yeah.
It's like I don't want to talk to this guy. I want to talk to and she says I am, bro. Yeah. Like you start looking for people who have you can have that conversation with, and those are the pláticas que están con ganas. Yeah. Like before this, we would go to Stars, me and Tano, and you like these conversations are so good, man, that they're worthy of putting on a podcast. Like, and I told him like I want to do a podcast. Like I had always wanted to do a podcast, and I was just like some of the stuff that we would discuss. I was just like, and some of the conversations I can't even remember some of the things that we said, but they were worthy of so many things.
I don't know where it started, bro, but it came to a point where I was even it was like a joke, but it was actually real. Like I was telling this Danny for real, like, hey Danny, we're gonna change the world, bro.
Hey, yeah.
And Danny was like laughing at it. I was like, no, bro, like we can change the world. Man. Yeah. If we like a little by little, maybe you won't even notice the changes little by little, but we're gonna impact the whole wide world.
Well, she said there's a preacher cause she says like out of the 5,000 that are here in this church or however many people she has, she's like I realize that I can't reach everybody here, but if I can reach one of 5,000 or however many are in there, I did my job. And that's the thing, like como maybe the case is that somebody who listens or who's watching this thing, or maybe even Joan, maybe we're like como we're like opening eyes we're like opening thoughts, different ways of thinking. Y todo empezó ¿cuándo fue? We started working together, and nomás tocó que, I don't even remember if you invited me or I invited you to lunch or something, because I didn't want to hang out with any of my coworkers. I said I'm not going to hang out with any of my coworkers, que no nada que ver, it's just going to be working and that's it. But I don't even remember where we first went ni nada, and then de qué platicamos, pero eventually it led to talking about biblical stuff and deep thoughts and stuff, and I was just like, man, these conversations are awesome. And even though we were working, we're working así, and we're like typing y todo and doing the pharmacy stuff, it was like, I want to be talking about this stuff. Like I said, como I want to keep this discussion going. Mm-hmm. Whether it was about space, aliens, fourth dimensional beings, whatever it was, bro. I remember those were some of the things, ¿verdad? Que it was like como paradoxical things también. And I was just like, como these are, estas sí son pláticas.
Yeah. We were getting in trouble because like a conversation would spread to the whole. Everybody want to be involved. Yeah. Like,
we should bring everybody on the podcast.
I want to put my opinion.
I want to give my 2 cents in there. Mm-hmm. Chinelas, yeah. Pero it's a good thing that we decided to do this. This was no lleva un año, pero I first started with the idea like como coming into fruition around March last year. Pero pues the ideas of starting a podcast, I've always had them since forever. Like, y ta con ganas, bro. Like it, people that watch like como family members me dicen like como, yeah, I like you guys are good guys. Like I like what you all talk about, and yeah, it's fun.
It's fun.
It's interesting and but like I said, like maybe somebody out there, we help somebody see or open somebody's eyes or lo que sea. Pero we've been going already. We didn't even get to talk about Jeffrey Epstein. None of these other things tampoco. So I guess we can end it there, and pues we'll see everybody in the next one.
All right.
So peace.
See you.